We're late starting this because Chris Cody was shouting, "Headphones, Zaz, you need headphones," and Zaz couldn't hear him from underneath the bald cap. Didn't know that he had to put on his headphones.
Trying to look authentic.
So before we get to today's show, can you guys explain to me why it is that as I'm doing some research for a story about Brian Pata and murder, I'm hearing you guys throw chancletas in the other room?
Dan, what day is it today?
It's Thursday.
Okay, what date?
I don't know. What is it, March 4th?
March 5th. 305. Our same area code, 305. So it's 305 day. Dan, have you heard of 305 day?
Isn't it 035 day?
If you're in Europe, buddy, this is America, Jack. Like, what do you mean? You put the day in front of the month now?
This isn't America, Jack. This is Miami, Jack.
Exactly right.
And this is a couple year standing long tradition where Miamians make a big deal out of this day to celebrate all things Miami.
Exactly right, Mike.
Trista, do you know anything about 305 day? You're dancing as if you're feeling it in your waist.
Well, I like the pause. I like the I like the music.
HR?
Weird, right?
Let's just keep going. Don't make it weird.
Just keep it moving.
Never heard of it, but I hear that I've got some things that I need to do. I've got like a station. I have to
Don't
make
let people.
What are we doing? What's a station? What does she mean? What is she talking about?
Dan, I brought in some firepower, okay, for 305 day. We brought in 305 legends here to the studio to make things happen. We're going to make things a little spicy, okay, a little exciting here on 305 day later on in the show.
Percolator? Some sort of percolator? Coffee maker?
We're percolating on it.
It's a competition. A team competition with all sorts of Miami-centric things that you have to accomplish.
Don't tell them too much.
You are the most I'm not telling them too much.
Don't tell them too much.
I'm
literally not telling them too much.
Don't tell them too much.
I'm not the most Miami. I know that. I don't think I'm gonna. I think I'm not gonna be successful at this.
I
Don't tell
couldn't
them
have
too
been
much.
more
Don't
vague.
tell them too much.
Basketball is back, Jack. Time for our favorite winter sport. The summertime is over, so let's head down to the court. Time for the tip-off. Give me fast breaks on the attack. Will you shoot a three or take it to the rack? Basketball is back, Jack. It's a dream shake down in the post, or a killer cross you love the most. When the offense tries to run and gun, is it man-to-man or box and one? It's big plays and talking smack. That's how you know that basketball is back, Jack. Let me hear you say basketball, basketball, basketball. Basketball is back, Jack. 360 dunks and pick and rolls. And we're gonna watch it every day till they raise the Larry O. Hard fouls and hook shots. A dagger three and hack a shack. If you say this game's the best, I'll say it's a gag. Basketball is back, Jack. Basketball is back, Jack. Basketball is back. Basketball is back, Jack.
The Charlotte Hornets, huh?
Yeah.
Trista said yesterday, the most fun team in the league. They beat the last three defending champions by 20-plus points, and it's the first team to do that in 60 years. The Hornets, this is the best stretch they've ever had.
They only had to be bad for a decade to do it.
It's the best that you've seen a team beat the hell out of other teams in the last 6 games since the 2017-2018 Warriors. We are talking about the next defending champs.
They're over 500. Do you think you'd ever be alive to see the day?
They're 16-3 in their last 19, and that starting lineup with Brandon Miller and LaMelo Ball and Kneppel is 20-2 this season.
Moose.
Moose, yeah. You forgot about Moussa Diabate, Dan.
I did forget about him because I didn't know about him.
You didn't know about the Moose?
begin with.
I'm just learning about it, but I wrote it down.
Moose,
I'm an NBA guy
good
this
player.
week.
Good player.
Look, the East, interesting. It's fun. I'm into the NBA, at least in one conference.
Right now, there's a very real chance that, because, the Miami Heat, they're going to be a play-in team. It's their invitational every year. There's a very real chance that the final game of the play-in to get the number 8 seed is Charlotte at Miami in a winner-take-all.
Who are you supposed to be dressed like?
What?
Because I think you're
Seriously.
it seems like one of the Men in Black done poorly. Like if they were bald, if the Men in Black in the Matrix,
You are Jason Statham?
Agent Smith.
Keep going.
who are you supposed to
Kiefer
be
Sutherland.
right now? And why do you have a bald cap on your bald head? Why
I'm going
didn't
for
you just?
authenticity. You know about that authenticity?
The authenticity would be if you had just your normal bald head.
Nah.
Well, who are you? What are you being today?
This is 305 day, number 1, so I don't know why it's taking you so many guesses. I mean, look at your boy here. Who am I?
Stanley
Stanley
Tucci.
Tucci.
Who am I? Come on now. Dale.
Oh, now I know. Pitbull. Now Armando.
Armandito.
Now I know. Now I understand.
Sasito.
Okay, so he is Pitbull. I was saying right before we started here that I can't believe Zaz has already paid more penalties than the rest of the people who have always worked here combined.
Well, it's called integrity.
That is what it's called. You are the one, the chief integrity-soaked person that we have around here. Tony, you and Jeremy are wearing the same thing, but you're not.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I didn't
That's a
even
good way to
realize that.
describe it.
I didn't even realize that. Yeah,
They
we're
have the
both,
same top, but
What does that mean?
Yeah, we're
not
both wearing a
the
nice
same
little,
bottom.
Yeah, a nice little black button-down shirt with some glasses on. Yeah, no, we look good.
His is unbuttoned a little bit more.
They both decided to wear a black shirt. That's on you guys.
So 305 day is going to entail what? Because I have at the end of this hour, Mike has no enthusiasm for what it is that we're doing toward the end of this hour. The Murder at the U podcast has become very popular. You've heard me talk about how I believe that America has a mental illness when it comes to being addicted to these murder podcasts that I don't think are helping anyone stay sane while they're driving around. But it's a huge economy, the murder podcast. And this one, an unsolved murder for 20 years of a former University of Miami football player, Brian Pata. This podcast has become very popular because they've dug deep on what was a hung jury this week. They evidently, we'll get more information later in the show, but evidently a hung jury on what would have been resolution to that crime that still leaves a family with no resolution. That seems to be an odd thing, but also an appropriate thing to put right in the middle of a 305 celebration.
How was it? I'm sorry, Mike. How was it a hung jury? Because I mean, look, I haven't paid close attention the last few weeks to it, but it wasn't it just? It was like a couple years ago where weren't we sure that it was the guy in the picture who may have done it?
Everybody was pretty sure about that, and that I think. Look, I'm exactly the kind of guy that's not into a podcast series that's reliving arguably the darkest day in the history of the Miami program. It's a terrible tragedy. It makes me sad. I know it's awfully convenient for me to say I don't want to see it because it makes me feel a certain way, but it also blends worlds with another issue that I have, which is true crime podcasts in general, because and I used to be into them. And then I realized, wait, I'm part of an impressionable audience that is taking in content, and I'm putting a lot of trust in producers who may be motivated by telling the truth, but also how is that prioritized against making something compelling, making something entertaining? And I think it's kind of wrought this whole internet sleuthing culture that sometimes does some really good work and sometimes misses the mark. And I do think it's an important thing to note that this is an active trial that just had a hung jury, and you have a piece of content that has led people a certain way. I don't know what happened. I would love justice to be brought, especially for the Pata family. But when you couple the typical Miami sensationalism of ESPN, and I know Miami sells, I'm not really holding that against them, but I'm just explaining why I'm always out on that stuff, and the true crime podcast genre as a whole, this is just not for me.
So when you say darkest days in University of Miami history, it's when I think of that, I think of there have been 2 murders of players, right? It's this and Marlon Barnes, right? And I think that this one being unsolved and being resurrected 20 years later is something that has caught the country's attention. We will have the reporters of that story on later this hour. We're also going to do some of the 305 things. You're going to have to explain to me what these games are. I see the See or No paddles out here. I also know Tony thought that 305 day made it that he was exonerated from having to work, that he doesn't have to work like everybody else does.
It's a celebration, Dan, and obviously this is, very much our day. It's my day, obviously, as you can see, and it's like I didn't think that I was going to need to be here to do these things, right? Like Carl put me in the schedule, and I was going to be like, Carl, like it's 305 day, like, obviously Roy's over in Key West with Rose doing whatever he's doing, celebrating 305. These are 954. So are these guys up front. 954 is all of them.
I feel like it's probably one of many days Tony feels like he shouldn't have to work.
You too, 954 over there, trying to cosplay as my culture.
Yo, my cell phone is 305, and everybody knows whatever your cell phone is, that's what you're about. I'm 305.
Then why are you dressed as Alan Arkin?
Question, if you move to Broward, can you still rep the 305?
Absolutely
That's what I do.
not.
That's what I do.
There's only one guy that can. That's Udonis Haslem. That's it. Everybody else cannot. He can.
Most of the people here, I think, are 786, are they not? All of your
I'm
cell
a
phones?
305er, sir.
Big phonies.
Yeah, that's also younger people because all the 305 numbers were taken.
I was OG in that, Dan. Very.
I'm my phone's 786, and it's been the same phone number for 20 years, but they did change it on me at some point. Like I don't even know what the rules were on that. I had
You were the
one
first
number.
786.
It was very confusing to me. I didn't like it. I still don't
Well, you
like
guys
it.
back in the day didn't have area codes, right? Like you would just dial numbers.
Just 7
and,
digits.
That
was
had to
crazy.
be wild.
Like
Get you where you're
221
going.
4642.
It's a real thing.
Crazy.
People would ask me for my number, and I'd start it off with like 554.
Yep. 7 digits get you where you're going. Heck, 407, which is Orlando, 407 used to be in Broward, Upper Broward.
I could tell. Orlando, Broward, same thing.
I have in my phone here when I didn't know this when it came to celebrity. There is a celebrity cell phone number that I have that I've never seen before. It ends with 4 zeros. Have you guys ever dialed a telephone number that ends with 4 zeros? Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Have you ever dialed a telephone number that ends with 4 zeros? Look at that. That's all of you are holding up the no
I
paddles.
have, but it was something else.
Yeah.
We are celebrating today 305 Day, and we've gotten from ESPN the intellectual property of highly questionable and Poppy C O No. We're going to play C O No here in a second, but to celebrate the University of Miami, I do want, as March begins here and we get into college basketball, the University of Miami dragged SMU yesterday, and when you're talking about what is their record, Mike? It's 24-6. I don't think that they have had many teams that have been this good through 30 games in their history.
No,
So,
this is one of the best records in Miami history.
24-6, and yesterday they didn't even play that well. Okay?
16 turnovers.
They
I
turned
think.
the ball. That's just in the second half.
It was crazy.
That was
Like,
just in the second half.
kind of sleptwalk through an away game at what is presently predicted to be a tournament team, coached by Andy Anfeld.
All right, but the thing that I wanted to put in front of the audience, because it is Andy Enfield and those boys, and Jermaine O'Neal Jr. is on SMU's team as well.
I think it's Field.
Yeah, it's Field, I think. Man, it's been such a long time since Dunk City. I forgot that he was at USC for a while. Boopy Miller, hard to kill.
Yeah, he can score a little bit. The game that I saw last night, though, okay, the University of Miami is bad at threes. I've been saying I don't think that team can go too deep in the tournament because they're playing 5 guys, but they got contributions last night for beyond the 5, right? And so they're not good at threes, but they have a guy who I was introduced to last night who's, I'm thinking, 41 years old. And he's shooting threes like a professional. And in the last 17 games, he had made 6. But since the second half of this weekend, he's made 8. Like, he's 8 for his last 9 from threes. They don't have that as part of their skill set. They throw the ball at the shot clock, and then they're more muscular than you. And it's why Shelton Henderson is 0 for 13 on his last threes, and I'm surprised anytime he makes a 3.
Why wasn't Eric Dickerson at SMU to watch his nephew that we all learned about 2 weeks ago? Is it because he also learned 2 weeks ago that that's his nephew?
George Bush was at the game last night.
I know, PTSD. I was like the Chihuahua meme with the choppers in the background watching George W. Bush at an SMU Miami game.
How old is Dovrat?
Noam Dovrat. I mean, he played professionally in Israel, and you're right, Dan, this is something that he fell out of the rotation very early in the season. Miami had a very tight rotation. We were right to criticize their lack of depth. But Nome coming online this weekend, and it's been apparently a challenge. They mentioned this on the broadcast yesterday for Jay Lucas to get him confident enough to the point to shoot the ball when he has a shot. He has a neon green light. They were saying on the broadcast that his name around the team is Nome, shoot the ball. Nome, shoot the ball. And you can see why. He's excellent from downtown, and that is a layer to this team that, as you mentioned, they have been completely missing. It helps with the depth issues. It helps when you run into zones, which this team will run into. I think it's hugely important for a Miami team that I think we kind of undersold the talent on. Yeah. They have developed, and you look at guys like Trey Donaldson, who at 6'3" and that consistent running layup that he has and his ability to shoot from downtown and his ability to defend, he's a pro. Uday, he's a pro.
Wait. All right? You underestimated the talent on this team because you were questioning when they were 17-6 whether or not this is a tournament team. And now what you're saying is you think the skill set on this team has, well, this is what you're saying, more pros than any University of Miami basketball team has ever had on the roster at one time, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I was thinking that. In comparison to the team that made it to the Final Four, you had Jordan Miller. Norchad Omier scored his first
I saw
NBA
he made
points.
his NBA debut,
Yeah.
Norchad.
Yeah, I love the aggregation algorithm that I'm on right now, which is anytime he does something.
You on a good algorithm now, finally?
First Nicaraguan to get a personal foul. I get a tile that tells me that. I'm like, all right, baby food, great. First assist, amazing. But, those are guys that have had to go through the G League, and I do think that Miami, and I know Uday is limited, so what? He's a big man. I'm not saying he's Dirk Nowitzki, but he has the lateral speed to come out and defend on the perimeter. He's basically DeAndre Jordan around the hoop. He's not a terrible free throw shooter. He was immense on the defensive end last night. So, yeah, I think that they got three guys that are going to have careers and opportunities in the NBA, especially Shelton, who came in as a 5-star and has the body and physical attributes that
my
NBA
algorithm's all boobs.
But
shocking.
But I think I'm really encouraged about this team where I thought, we're a feisty team. We're hard-nosed. We're going to be a pill to play in the tournament. And then they lost to FSU, and I didn't really know how to reconcile with that, but it was just a little midseason hiccup. They're better for that adversity, and you watch this team play, and you're like, man, this isn't just fool's gold. Like, some of these guys are legit good.
Are they going to be able to get double bye?
Oh, yeah. They're locked in as a 3 seed in the ACC tournament.
What, 4 get double byes?
Yes.
All right, then.
I want to, though, again, 24-6. I don't know a lot of Miami teams ever that have started that way through 30 games. I told you that I thought of this last, they've won 7 of 8. The most impressive one to me was the one they lost, where they go to Virginia, they're on the road, they're going punch for punch with a top 15 team that's shooting 50% from 3. And at the end of the game, a foul does them in. But this is what was available last night that I hadn't seen all season. That's a professional three-point shooter. That guy all their other players don't. I mean, Donaldson can shoot threes, but all their other players look like I can't trust them when they're shooting.
Renu can too, but he's selective. He's
not
an outside guy. He's an inside guy, and you need him inside.
No, Renu makes threes at a 30% clip. If he's wide open, he will take them, and he will make them for a big man. But when I'm watching last night, and I'm hearing Jim Boeheim yell of Davat, you can't leave him open. I'm like, what world am I watching? Where it's Jim Boeheim saying you can't leave a guy open who had 6 threes in the last 17 games before the second half of this weekend.
It's an amazing job by Jay Lucas. He's brought in a bunch of Florida guys. You talk about like putting a fence around your recruiting area. These are a lot of Florida guys that are on this team, and it's mixed in with a healthy dose of Europeans. And I think you could say Jay Lucas has pretty much hit on everybody. And Jim Boeheim was touting Jay Lucas as National Coach of the Year this year. Like, this is an amazing first year when you consider where he had to pick up the tatters of this program, that he had to have this program rise from the ashes from.
What's the over-under right now?
On what?
How many years Jay Lucas is here?
Oh, every Kentucky game, I'm worried. I think it's different now. And I'm not saying things like tradition don't matter. Rupp Arena is awe-inspiring. I think there are a lot of great programs that have committed a lot of NIL. but I do think it's a different era. And it's not like this program hasn't shown you what it's capable of in very recent years, in going to an Elite Eight and then a Final Four. I do think things like program tradition in a day like today, where a guy who is so great at talent acquisition, he can build something here. So I actually think he's going to stay for a couple seasons and not just be one and done like a lot of people assume.
And you're talking about a new era. BYU is getting 5-star after 5-star after 5-star, has the number 1 pick coming out. If he wants to go, now there's a report that he may not,
If he
Trista.
wants
Like,
to go.
that's the whole weird part about this whole NIL situation is he's going to make, if he continues to play, let's say he plays all 4 years in college, might make $30 million
What?
in
Wait a
his
minute.
career.
What? What do you mean the number 1 pick in the draft is a freshman's not coming out?
Yeah, he said his mom wants him to graduate. Mamas, they lead the charge on these
Okay,
decisions.
mamas, but how much is he being paid at BYU, mama?
$7 million at BYU
Per year?
well, just this
For
year.
this
He
year.
might even get more if he stays.
No, wait a minute.
That's that crumble money. You know about that crumble money?
No, wait a minute. Hold on a
Know
second.
about soaking?
We're paying college freshmen in basketball twice as much as we're paying college quarterbacks?
Yep.
Since when?
Since AJDB Nasty.
This is a first here. There is a player in college basketball making $7 million a year saying he might not go to the pros. What does Cooper Flagg make? Like, is it going to be more? Is it going to be advantageous? It can't be more profitable to be in college than in the pros, can it?
No, he's making $13 million in his rookie contract. But listen, BYU and Provo have a lot of money, and they want to keep AJ, and they ended up just getting a top 5 kid, a 5-star for this next class. BYU is the future
I hear Provo's
of college.
nice.
Yeah, I hear it is.
It's all right.
How are you guys not shocked by that number? I've got to think that is this a widely known thing that there is a player in college basketball making $7 million a year?
Yeah, last year when they said, hey, he's going to make $7 million, and everybody's like, wow, that's a lot. Okay, what are we doing? And then it's like, why is he going to BYU again? It's a kid from Boston. Why is he going to BYU? And now they got another 5-star kid coming on top of another 5-star kid who's already there. And you look at the disparity of college basketball, and it's like completely different.
There's a segment of the population which I think I would be lumped into, which is, all right, let me if my college basketball team isn't good, I'm just going to follow the sport in March. And then you're appreciative of these mega teams that Calipari would build. Like, okay, 5 NBA guys on one team, I can do that. But now, not unlike football, the talent is going everywhere. And you have more wide open competition. And I think it, like it is in football, is going to be better for the sport.
I'm going to put this on the poll. I don't believe the audience at large would not be surprised by that information. Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Are you surprised that a college basketball player at BYU is making $7 million a year? I knew he was the number 1 overall pick. I did not know that that was the going price.
When else has BYU, paid players? They've been saving up for this moment. They got the money now.
Yeah. There's even talk that Shelton Henderson is going to stick around for another year, and I think he's a little different because they're obvious holes in his game that he can develop, but usually those guys work it out on the NBA level and go from there. It's a new age.
Everybody was tired of the one and done. It's killing college basketball. There's no more seniors. There's no more juniors. They don't exist, and the guys that are seniors and juniors are not good enough to play in the league. Now NIL is going to allow for these guys to basically make a career out of playing college
That's right.
basketball.
No, Nigel Pack is still playing college basketball.
Been playing basketball for
folks.
6
Really?
years.
Yeah, he's at Oklahoma.
He was in the 2020
liked
recruiting
him.
class.
Well, I think the thing that's actually more interesting about AJ and this comments that he's making is you've got all these NBA teams that are tanking, and they're tanking egregiously, and they're not places that a guy like AJ may want to play. So he throws out in this interview like, "Hey, I may not come into the draft. Like, I may stay 4 years. Like, if you're a team like Utah, you are shitting your pants. You're
know
like,
what?
this is like, we have been tanking for 3 years for this kid, and if you tell me we got to tank for 3 more, Danny, I don't know if he can do it."
You know what? That right there might be the solution to tanking, is that NIL is going to stop tanking. You have players, you have kids who are going to stay in school maybe because you can come out at least with the NFL, they're either coming out after year 3 or year 4. With the NBA, is it going to come out this year? Is it going to come out this year? Is it going to come out this year? Like, who knows? Maybe NIL is going to solve tanking.
Reason for guys to stay now is that they can make some amount of money that they weren't making before, But the bigger part is you still want to come out because you want to get closer to that next contract. While $7 million might be close to the $13 million that you're making, and you might make more coming back for that second season, you don't want to be 27 years old as you're trying to go for that first max contract, because you'll have opportunities for 2 of those $200 to $400 million deals.
Well, Adam Silver says everything's on the table, Jeremy, for tanking. So maybe we can give a rookie a max contract right when he comes out.
That's code for he doesn't have a clue.
That's true. He's a nothing, right?
He's a nothing.
Nothing. I agree with you there. But the other thing, too, is like this is not talking about elite star guys coming out of high school into college. The one-and-done guys are always going to be one-and-done. They're just going to get a bigger bag on the front end. This is for guys that take a couple years to develop, that all of a sudden at 22, 23, they've made $10 million in 3 or 4 seasons, and then all of a sudden are ready to play NBA basketball, or at least get into the G League and then start, preparing like a Norchad Omier, Jordan Miller, who's been great. Like there's a lot of that trajectory for those middle guys.
You say seniors and juniors aren't playing. The University of Miami had a person who was a senior, not in school. That shooter last night is 40 years old. That is not a
shame on him, by the way. Shame on him. If he's a professional and he played basketball and he knows what his three-pointer is, why is he afraid to shoot in college basketball? Buddy, this is nothing.
Right, which is what Jay Lucas was asking and why his nickname is Gnome Shoot the Ball. But yeah, the photos that we have adorning our LED screens in these studios are him in his professional uniform overseas.
We have way too much going on right now. The University of Miami was 7-24 last year. They now have set the school record they've tied it for wins in a season. I believe they had never beaten SMU before yesterday. I believe they lost to SMU by 50 points last season.
They flipped their record from last year. Last year was one of the worst college basketball teams in a major conference I had ever seen in my entire life.
All right, I've got to get to our guests here in a second, but Domino, real quick, you're in the other room. You're wearing again.
Don't tell him too much, Dan.
Your tight wrestling pants. Just real quick, explain to people what it is that we're doing today as soon as we get past our guests here.
Dan, aquí mi gente, today we are celebrating aquí 305 Day con las pilas bien puestas, aquí con un obstacle course, a ver quién puede hacer el cafecito con la espumita. Oye, Sazo, I see you con la camisita, mira, pero yo estoy aquí pompeado yo, porque estoy a Ceremon 305 Day, dale mi gente.
Okay, that's about enough of that. No, that's a little.
See, I told you about reinforcements, Dano.
It's a little aggressive in the morning. We'll put him to the side. Put him away for a second. Now, Paula Levine and Dan Arruda have done some reporting that not a lot of people are doing anymore these days. On November 7, 2006, we mentioned that Brian Pata was shot in the head outside his apartment complex after coming home from practice. It has been unsolved for 20 years. If you listen to Murder at the U, a 7-part podcast on the case and an ESPN investigation, you will find a lot of holes in the Miami Police Department's police work. Thank you for joining us, Paula and Dan. I will start with you, Paula. Can you tell us the greatest level of shoddiness that you found in the Miami Police Department when you guys were doing some of this reporting on this case?
Wow, there's such a list. First of all, Dan, thank you so much for having us. I appreciate being able to talk about the Murder at the U podcast. And I remember talking to you about this story back in 2020. So it's crazy that it's still going on. We found so many things with errors with Miami-Dade police. They didn't interview witnesses they should have interviewed. They lost documents. They lost track of people. I think the biggest one was when they were trying to bring their key eyewitness in for testimony. And they said, he's dead. He can't come in. He's dead. ESPN found that he was not dead, which is generally a pretty black and white thing when you're investigating someone. And we went to his house in Louisville, Kentucky, and interviewed him. And he's very much alive. Unfortunately, though, the passage of time has degraded his memory and he wasn't able to come and testify. But that whole process still speaks to just the overall integrity of the investigation and the police work that brought this forward and as we'll probably get to, ended in a mistrial.
Yeah, that mistrial was this week. But Dan, can you walk us through a little bit of what you made of what happened this week and how heartbroken you were for the Pata family to still not have anything that resembles resolution on this?
Yeah, Dan, I think the interesting thing about what we saw in this trial is that it laid out almost exactly to what our podcasts showed. It was, we interviewed family, we interviewed friends, we interviewed the police, and it was all the same evidence that the state gave over to the jury. There was really no surprises in this trial, probably because there's been no new evidence gathered in since the 2000, 2006, 7, 8 era. So the question lends itself to why was this case taking so long to be brought to trial? As far as the Pata family goes, they were just incredible throughout this ordeal. They came in 18 strong on day one, and those numbers didn't facilitate for the entire trial. They had 2 rows strong with Pata family members there. Jeanette Pata, Brian's mother, wheeled in a wheelchair every day, showing her support. And it just breaks your heart to know that they're going to have to do this all over again. They've been waiting so long for justice, and now they're going to have to put a pause on that yet again.
Paula, based on your reporting, what does justice look like here? Like, what the facts lead you to what here?
Well, the problem is that the facts aren't very good, and they're not entirely complete. And I've been asked that question about, what does justice mean? And I think one of the things that we really get to in the Murder at the U podcast is that I don't know that anyone at the end of the day really gets the justice that they want. I mean, I think there will always be a question. And I think one thing, I've said this many times, is that one thing that the Miami-Dade Police Department and the state attorney's office should offer to the Pata family, regardless of what the end game is here, is an apology for what they didn't do for so many years, an apology for this whole process, and just a general apology for the pain and anguish that they've suffered on top of losing their loved one so many years ago.
Why haven't they? Has that been requested? Are they saying they have nothing to apologize for? Why, Paula, has there not been an apology when there's obviously a need for an apology?
I don't know. I don't know what the conversations have been, recently with the Pata family. I know that what triggered this whole thing, I mean, we were talking about this the other day, what really kind of prompted ESPN to dig into this was when they initially came to us, the Miami-Dade Police Department came to us and wanted to do something on this. One of the things we saw was this press conference that they had done with the family. And in that press conference, Jeanette Pata just goes off script and she calls out the police department for not doing anything on the case. And it was very evident and made us curious from the get-go. Why is this family so upset? What has been done to them? Like, why do they feel like that they're being ignored? And I just think at the end of this, whatever they get out of this trial, I just feel like someone needs to say to them, like, look, we dropped the ball. And, I don't know if that's happened, but I do think that they're owed that.
I should tell people that Billy Corbin will be addressing this in Because Miami this week. But when we talk, Dan, about the amount of effort that it requires to report something like this, can you take us both through the amount of manpower or all hours that you guys put into this versus whether or not it was more than the number of hours that you suspect the Miami Police Department was putting into it because you were actually trying to solve it and the Miami Police Department seemed less interested in doing that until you guys started making it clear that you were trying to solve it?
It's a fair question, Dan. To date, we've interviewed well over 100 people. We've gathered more than 5,000 documents and pieces of evidence to go along with our reporting. Clearly, the Miami-Dade police were not expecting us to shine a flashlight into their work. But once we saw the deficiencies in that work, we knew that we had to press forward. We knew we had to press them for answers. I think we did a pretty good job of giving a better overall picture of the case. Because, again, for 15 years, no one knew exactly what was going on. And we were the ones that finally got to show the public that Rashawn Jones was a primary suspect the entire time, despite them holding that evidence back.
Paula, can you walk us through how your investigation specifically led to Pata's former teammate, as he mentioned, Rashawn Jones, being arrested 15 years after the murder?
Well, I think one thing that we can say certainly is that our investigation prompted them to actually look at this case again and bring it forward. And that, and they've even admitted to that. I think one of the bigger questions is in this whole process, ESPN ended up having to sue the Miami-Dade Police Department for access to the records. And the result of that lawsuit essentially put the Miami-Dade Police Department on the clock for making an arrest. And we don't know for sure if that's what prompted it or not, but it's certainly a coincidence. And we would like to think that that when they made this arrest, we'd like to think, oh, maybe there was some new evidence that they found between the time of our lawsuit and then. And it doesn't seem like there was anything new that came about. It just, from their explanation, they said, well, just taking that better look at it and maybe re-interviewing some people, that's what got us here. And I know that was something that we questioned, and after this mistrial, it was something the jurors even questioned as well.
I am always interested when people get obsessed with solving something like this because vetting the facts is really hard. Evidence this many years after something is really hard. For you, Dan, what is the piece of evidence or proof that you feel like you uncovered that made you run to Paula and say, you're not going to believe this that I found?
It's interestingly a piece of evidence that was never really introduced into trial. Pretty early on in my interviews with Brian's teammates, I spoke to one of his teammates named Chris Selner, who was adamant that less than an hour before Brian was murdered, he overheard Brian in the locker room in a very heated discussion, and he said something to the effect of the person on the other line, "Well, come and get it." We thought right away that's got to be connected to what happened to Brian. But all these years later, we still haven't been able to find all of the phone records because Brian had two phones at the time. They pulled the records on one. We don't think they pulled the records on the other. So to this day, we don't know whether that phone call actually had anything to do with Brian's murder. It's a mystery that we really want solved.
Paula, do you have the same answer to that question, or is it different?
No, Dan, I mean, absolutely. You asked me earlier about the evidence and the mistakes. And one of the things that keeps coming up is, why didn't the police pull these phone records? I mean, they had the ability to. They had so many people who, said there were conversations, and at trial, they made it clear to the jury, yeah, we don't have these. But then there's confusion over, like, why don't you have them? And why aren't you showing them to us? And the problem with phone records is, after a certain period of time, usually like 7 years or so, the phone companies, they destroy them. And so it's, again, a testament to how the passage of time has eroded the evidence in this case. And yeah, I would say that mystery with that particular phone call, my gosh, if we could solve that, I really think that would point to something, because it's such the timing, the nature of it. If you were the police department, you would think you would certainly want to track that down right away.
Dan, is all of this still a mystery to you? I know you guys have to be journalists here. You have to aspire to objectivity. You have to base things on the facts. But I'm going to just ask you directly, what do you think happened here?
Dan, I wish I could tell you. I've been at this for 8 years. I've seen every piece of evidence that the police has allowed us to see. I sat through the trial. I still have no idea whether Rashawn Jones was there and he pulled that trigger. And that's hard to say that, because you would think after all this evidence, you could find some kind of truth. But I'm not sure at the end of the day, we're ever going to know the full truth.
Paula, do you have a way that you lean here, or is that an unfair question to ask you? Like, when I just say to you directly, do you think Rashawn Jones did it, if you had to bet and guess and be right based on all of your research, your thoughts are what there? Are you allowed to answer that question?
Well, Dan, I think I would echo some of what Dan said, which is there's not enough evidence there to point me in that direction. And one thing that we know and that we put in the Murder at the U podcast is it's not just the evidence pointing to Rashawn Jones, it's all the other leads that police had. And there are like 3 or 4 of them that are legitimate. I mean, they're anything that any investigator would be like, that has legs. And those leads weren't completely exhausted. So you have 2 things. You have these other possibilities that seem very, very valid and could use further investigation. And then you also have, with the case with Rashawn, you've got some evidence pointing to him, but not anything definitive. So I think, and some of the jurors said this as well, that, they're saying, like, I don't know if Rashawn did it or didn't do it, but I know that either way, the state didn't prove it.
The YouTubers have begun an investigation, Paula, into your background, and they're saying that it is totally fake. That background that you have there is not in any way real, and they want you to touch it to prove that it is not in any way real, because they think it's going to move. They think it's going to move like water would move if you put your finger in it.
Well, that shouldn't be the indicator. The indicator should be that there's no way I have an office. This tiny. My gosh, my real office, there's like stuff scattered everywhere.
Thank you guys for the work that you've been doing. Not enough of it is being done. Journalists are being having resources taken away from them at all times. So it's nice to see that investigative work is still being done in the name of fairness and justice. Murder at the U is the 7-part podcast on the case and ESPN's investigation. Thank you guys. Thank you for being on with us.
Thanks,
No,
Dan.
thank you so much.
2 decades after the shooting death of Miami Hurricanes defensive lineman Brian Pata, his teammate Rashawn Jones went on trial for murder, and the jury just came back with a non-verdict. We talked to Jones's defense team about the shocking result in the case and what comes next this week on Because Miami.
Coming up today on the Alley Oop, my brother, Luke Cornett, besmirches Magic City.
Oh, and we have one of the funniest comedians on the Alley Oop today, Rachel Feinstein. It was nonstop laughs. I don't even know what got left on the cutting room floor, but we got to put the bloopers out as well, Juju. Stay on. Go to YouTube, DLS Hoops, and find us right after the Dan Le Batard Show.
Lock in.
Lock in.
This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
It is 305 day, and Domino is in the other room there getting us ready for a series of, obstacle courses and challenges. And I will say that our very serious guests were laughing. I erred in not asking them. I think they were laughing at Domino's outfit. I'm not totally sure. They were laughing at
What's
Domino.
wrong with his outfit?
I didn't say
Ring
that.
attire.
I didn't say there was anything wrong with his outfit, but our very serious guests seem to be laughing at Domino's outfit. Domino, you're very excited. You are ready. Are we going to play any of these games with David Samson? Are you ready to do some of this stuff, or should we hold off because the energy is burgeoning here and we should do it at the end of the segment?
Mira, the question is he ready? Is everybody ready? Porque yo siempre estoy cargado, bro. Yo estoy ready right now.
All right, let's play some sí or no. He does not have on him a sí or no palette, but David, you can play from afar on remote. Let's play some sí or no here. Go ahead and ask a question of us in honor of my father and what he made famous on ESPN's lineup for a decade.
Okay, mira, the first one in honor of Papi. Should men be allowed to wear thong sandals?
Oh, no.
Strong.
No. Oh, look.
Strong no.
Well, it's a strong
Wow.
no from all of us except
for the dude that does it.
Chris Cody. No, it's Chris Cody and David Samson. Cody, explain yourself. Nobody wants to see those feet.
At the beach? Like, what am I supposed to wear to the beach?
Slides.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll wear thong sandals. Thank you.
It's a white guy's thing.
It is a white guy thing.
Super white guy thing.
You guys haven't been to Hialeah because the mechanic that fixes my car does it with thong sandals, okay?
C.
All right. Yeah, David, defend yourself here.
I have a flip-flop tan. When I lived in Florida 12 months a year, 365. Now I'm in the Northeast. I have to put makeup on it to have that tan to remind me of being home in Florida. So yeah, I'm a flip-flop guy at all times, just not on airplanes, but everywhere else.
Put it on the poll, please, Juju, at Le Batard Show. Are you surprised that David Samson is so white that he has a farmer's tan on his flip-flops? Go ahead, Domino. Give us a second question, please.
Second one. This is pretty controversial. Should a panko bistec have mayonnaise?
What?
No.
Excuse me, what?
A Cuban
Panko
steak
bistec is a
sandwich.
steak
Pan con bistec, steak sandwich, a Cuban steak sandwich, pan con bistec. You can't go mayonnaise on pan con bistec.
Many establishments do down here in South Florida. It's basically sandwich lube.
See?
Ooh.
So you've got Chris, Cody, Zaz, and David Sampson are the only
White
C's
guys.
we
Put that
have.
shit on anything.
I am
That is
feeling
what's
more
happening.
Hispanic by the minute.
This is
I mean,
what's
you are
happening
part
here.
Cuban, Jeremy. I'm
Wow.
proud of you, dude.
Part of me's really
Unbutton
standing up.
one of your buttons.
Okay.
On it.
So
For every
Finally.
right answer back
One
here that
button.
we've
Yeah.
judged you
You
on,
got
Wait, but what do you have
lower
underneath the
one
shirt?
button.
What do you have underneath the shirt? You have an undershirt on? Oh, you gotta
Let
go
that-
no.
oh,
you gotta go
no, take the
shirt. You
shirt
gotta show
off.
the head, the cherry chest.
Zaz, how you're saying yes on pan? Do you have pan con bistec? Do you like pan con bistec? Okay.
Of course.
But mayo on it.
Dale.
Se le gusta pan con something else.
Hey!
Whoa! Hey!
Whoa!
Hey!
Oye, respeta
Hey,
Pitbull.
hey,
Respeta
hey,
Pitbull.
Hey!
I
Listen.
remember he smashed my head with a glass bottle.
Oh, that's right. That's
This is
true.
a long-standing
That's a
beef.
play on.
Okay, fair enough. Number 3, Domino. What else do you have?
Pata sucia. Deal breaker?
Huh?
Pata sucia is dirty bare feet. Dirty bare feet is the translation. Is it a deal breaker if
let me
somebody?
Let me see. You wrote C, huh?
This is a controversial one.
Yeah, I'm in between. I'm in between.
You can't be.
No, I'm in
This
between.
is an absolute game.
No,
It's not very.
wait, I'm right in the
It's not very
middle.
complicated.
Wait, are the shoes off in the street or in the club?
That's what I'm saying.
Doesn't matter.
Either way, I'm out.
They're in the bed. The dirty feet are in the bed.
No,
No,
the
what?
bed, on the
It's
bed.
not
no,
the
bed.
sucia.
No, but that's
no,
Dan.
no.
No.
No, this what he's talking about is when the lady is out to have a good time and her feet get tired, does she take off the heels to go barefoot? That's
At
what
the
a pata
club.
sucia
No,
is.
At the
I'm
club.
aware of that, but once the pata sucia comes into the house, if you're dancing with her, then you've got or him, you've got pata sucia.
There's no pata sucios. I can
This
promise
is
you that.
why on the bar mitzvah circuit we give the lady socks.
Yeah,
true.
Very presumptuous of
Hell
Dan to
yeah.
say he's already
It's true.
pulling.
La
Like,
próxima.
we're going to the
Also
next
true.
spot.
Also true. Like if she's walking down Main Street, okay,
Like
right
Dan's
outside
mind
of
is
the
already
Grove.
like, I already sealed the deal.
The
We're
question,
going back.
it's just deal breaker was the question. So is there a deal or is there not a deal? And does it break the deal? Isn't that the deal?
She's got to get in the shower before the sheets.
Yeah, exactly.
Deal
right.
or no deal? Is that why Zaz is dressed as Howie Mandel?
Pata sucia means that the feet are dirty. Period.
Yes, but
but
it-
out at an establishment,
Yeah,
right?
it's-
where
There's
people
not a
are wearing
shower,
shoes.
though.
Stop
There's-
taking it so literally. It's a state of mind. It's a state of being, a pata sucia.
Domino,
freedom.
number 4, please.
Aquí vamos. Is it acceptable to use an umbrella in light rain?
Bro, it's not acceptable to use an umbrella in a torrential downpour.
In a hurricane.
All right, so
I don't
adding
have
another
a
button here.
single umbrella.
Wait a minute. Why are Jeremy and Trista the only ones giving a C here?
Espabilate.
Hair. I don't want to mess my hair up.
I don't like to be damp.
Pause. Big time pause.
Put more buttons on. You got to add the
Yeah, I
buttons
got it.
there. Yeah.
I got it.
Samson, I would have thought you a parasol guy. I would thought I've never owned an umbrella. I've never owned in my life
guy.
an umbrella.
I'm not a schlepper. I don't like schlepping extra stuff. And it rains so infrequently in South Florida. Why would you ever need an umbrella when you're just going from car to air conditioning to car to air conditioning? Why carry it? And in the city, you can go scaffolding to rat to building to awning. You do not need it. Ever.
It's a game of chance. It does rain literally every day during the summer, but for like 5 minutes at a time, and you just hope that 5 minutes is not essential to your schedule.
I'm the only one here though who has never owned an umbrella.
I mean, I
correct?
think I have one
That
in the
can't be
house, but I don't ever use it. What am I supposed to do? Bring that thing everywhere? Get out of here.
I have in New York City had to go into one of these shops to go get the umbrella, which I immediately threw away as soon as I got to where it is that I was headed.
What's the wifey
Nope,
say?
Dan. No credibility, Dan. They're not in the shops. They're on the streets. They're the street vendors in New York who come out in the baskets and sell the umbrellas that everyone buys. They're disposable. You use them once and then bang it, you throw it away.
That's the only kind I've ever had. I don't know why you're accusing me of not being truthful in my story. Like,
you didn't go into a store to get it.
Just one of the street side shops. I don't know why we have to get stuck in the mud. That's one of the umbrellas I got. I remember it so much because it's the only time I've owned an umbrella. No. What's the fifth question here, Domino?
Riding a public bus to get anywhere in Miami.
Ooh, I think this is classist here. Some people need to ride the public bus. Like this is... David. Look at David, the elitist.
Listen to the millionaire
laugh. Listen to him. Listen to him
all
cackle.
the poor.
He hadn't even considered the idea that somebody wouldn't have transportation, so they would need to ride a bus.
I only knew there were buses because we would put ads on them.
Ugh. Disgusting.
I'm a Metro Rail guy, and so is Mike, so we kind of take offense to this because even though we don't go on the bus.
Never go on the bus.
We go on the Metro Rail by extension via the bus.
I've told you guys before, and you don't believe me. I think the trolley qualifies, right? I'm constantly in Miami Beach getting on trolleys, especially when it rains, because I don't have an umbrella. So Yeah, I think you're surprised that I would be using public transportation.
Yeah, but
I'm
beach
sorry.
is different,
The
though.
C sign hit my tambourine there. I don't know why it is that was. We'll get back to more 305 stuff later in the show. I did want David's business acumen on a couple of things here. Nothing Personal is a really excellent podcast that he does with Coca every day. He's doing it 3 times a week these days because of stuff going on at home in his life. But he has been doing coverage of this Warner Brothers Paramount deal that I have not seen anywhere else. And I know this is expansive, David, so I want you to cover the most interesting parts of this. But first, I would like for you to explain to me and the audience how it is that Netflix got billions of dollars by not concluding this deal, billions of dollars, and what it means. Is Netflix happy that they weren't able to get this deal because they got billions of dollars for not getting this deal?
No, you're never happy when you get paid a breakup fee. It's called a breakup fee, and it gets negotiated when you've got a exclusive window with a purchaser. Anytime you're doing a deal with someone and you've got a bunch of people who want to do the deal, but you say, no, I'm just going to do it with you. But if we don't finish, then I'm going to get paid. And the reason I'm going to get paid is that I am going to have the opportunity cost of not dealing with the other people all this time and only with you. And so Netflix ends up with a breakup fee, $2.8 billion, and people are doing the funniest thing. They're saying, oh, that's going to be used to get the international package with the NFL. That number was purposeful so that Netflix could have extra money to do a sports broadcast game deal. It's absurd. Netflix has plenty of cash. It's like a nuisance fee. It's, hey, we wanted to buy you. Well, we didn't get to buy you. You went and dated someone else. Give me a couple $2 billion and we'll be on our way. We'll pay our lawyers.
But how rare is that amount for a breakup fee? Billions of dollars.
This is over $100 billion deal. It's not like you're buying a casa on the side of the street. This is a huge, huge deal. So you have to look at the percentage of the deal. You're talking about, 2% of the deal, 2.25%, depending on where the final numbers end up.
I know, but what I'm asking you is how uncommon is a breakup fee? Okay, it's not, because I would have thought that billions of dollars. It's billions of dollars, David. You're shrugging your shoulder at billions of dollars for not getting it.
But you do this all the time. When Michael Jordan bets $10,000 on a hole of golf, it's the same thing as someone who makes $100,000 betting $1 on a hole of golf. You wouldn't comment on it. It wouldn't even be noteworthy. It would just be what someone does on a Sunday. And so you have to do percentages. That's the whole point of it.
Walk us through what the impact is going to be to consumers on this one.
My answer is different than others in that you're not going to be impacted at all by this deal. And there is a lot of PR going on by sore losers and by worried competitors saying, you know, what you love to talk about, the consumers are getting screwed. They're going to have 59 different streaming services to find 42 different basketball games. Everything's going to hell in a handbasket. No. What this merger just means, it's really economies of scale. When you combine HBO Max and Paramount, are you going to be paying what you were paying for both? Is it going to be a little bit under? Is there going to be something weird about the Masters being on TNT, TBS, CBS, SDT, LSD? The fact of the matter is that what streaming is now, it's cable. And for those of you too young watching, there used to be something called the cable package. And you're never quarters, but for cord cutters, the reason we cut was we didn't want that cable bundle. We wanted to decide what we wanted. But now that we know what we want, we're paying for a lot of stuff, and it's really the same amount of money.
STD?
So,
STD, was that necessary?
what was your question, Dan?
STD?
It's what you get when you don't wear bastadas or flip-flops.
You know, like, there's probably a correlation. Because if you're like this unsanitary here, it's a meta thing, the pata sucia. That's why I'm telling you, it's more than just a choice. It's a state of being.
It's terrible.
Are we going to get some layoffs, Samson? Like, what's the, I guess, internal?
hope so.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, he's the worst that
No,
way.
but listen.
Why
no, but
I hope
listen,
so?
Before
Before
you criticize a relationship that I'm just starting with her, when there is a merger of any kind and you've got two people doing the same job, by definition, there's going to be a layoff because you only need one person doing that job. That's why mergers or acquisitions happen. It's been going on since the days of Pretty Woman. It's not exactly that we're forging new territory here. And that it happens not just in sports, but in every business you've ever been associated with. When you consolidate, that means layoffs and reallocation of people to other positions.
Before I contaminate your relationship with her, you're being introduced to her, and your first words are, I hope there are layoffs.
Because why else would a deal like that happen? It's happening because Zaslav wanted to collect about just under $1 billion. I mean, that sounds good, and he's getting bad press for it. That's just incidental. The reason why this is happening is it's best for all of the shareholders of Warner Brothers Discovery not to have it break up into the two companies that was the plan. And by the way, with Netflix, that still would have happened. There would have been a remaining company of Warner Brothers, and everyone was like, hold on, let's cash out, let's get the money for the shareholders and move right along.
Give us the most interesting thing, as you've studied this from every angle, okay? Nothing Personal does an extraordinary job of covering a lot of different things, but business in particular. What do you think is the most interesting thing here of all the things, and what's the thing that most people aren't talking about that they should be talking about?
Well, everyone's talking about sports as what is the driver of value for all of these streamers. Like Netflix is doing more live events, or are they going to get more involved in sports because we're sports and we're sports adjacent and DraftKings and everything else. But really what I'm looking at is all the other business silos and the impact that will have. So let's look outside of sports, and if you want, we can just go entertainment, and we can go to the movie side, to the production side. As it is, production's not happening in Los Angeles the way it used to be. Production has moved to places where it is more tax advantageous, whether it's Nashville or a lot in Canada, a lot overseas. And what you're seeing is a lot of PR saying that there's Make America First and everything's coming back to America. But the truth is there's a lot of business that's going outside of America. And these industries, the entertainment industries, are at a crossroads because their profitability has declined and they've got to bolster it up. That's why you see consolidation. That's why you see mergers. But then what happens after is really important. The cost cutting and then the efficiencies that you get on the expense side. And the hope is that no one will know the difference.
And what would be the thing that people aren't talking about enough? Is it that, or is it something else that they're not noticing here?
So I don't think there's too many people actually noticing that when you government approval issue it's getting some press where, it looks like it's fixed, and Larry Ellison was at the State of the Union, and what are we doing here? Was it always going to be the Ellisons because of the relationship with Trump? And the truth is in Washington that those kind of shenanigans have nothing to do with Trump. They have nothing to do with Obama or Clinton or left or right. There are lobbying efforts that go on with these corporations at all times under all administrations in order to ease pathways toward deal making. It happens with chip companies. It happens with entertainment companies, tech companies, rental car companies. It doesn't matter. And what people are trying to do, and I understand all the reasons we want to be against everything that is happening that we're seeing in this world and in this country right now, but there's certain things like this that have been going on forever.
YouTube is at 40 billion hours of sports watch time on the platform in 2025. What do you do with that information? That's coming from their VP of subscriptions. He told Andrew Marchand that 40 billions of hours of sports watch time last year.
I was just trying to quickly do the math of what that means. 40 billion, there's only 24 hours in a day. I'm thinking about how long our shows are, so we're asking for, just 6 hours for the two of us, and then you got to add Zaz and all the great shows, everything else we're doing, so hoops, and that's 20 hours a day. Yeah, no.
It's a lot of hours, David. It's a lot of hours.
Dan.
Okay, but I'm just
It doesn't matter.
No,
it's ridiculous.
The question I'm asking you basically, look, Netflix is trying to become television. YouTube is trying to become television. They're trying to replace what has historically been television, and they're competing against each other to be number one at the doing of television. So who's going to win?
People are watching YouTube on television right now. It is television. There's no difference. People are using their monitors as televisions. That's been going on for a decade. My kids don't have TVs in their rooms. They have their laptops.
They're trying to replace what television. These two entities are trying to be the single entities that become what television has been.
Hollywood is collapsing.
So listen, Mike, I don't want to say that everything's collapsing or that Hollywood is collapsing, but there are people in your industry like your competitors who say that YouTube is nothing, and that's why Netflix is the place to be for a podcast. And that obviously is totally self-serving and incorrect. The reality is that there is room in this industry, in the television industry, for all of these companies and competitors, Netflix, YouTube, all of the places where we get content. And right now they're just doing sort of a BDC, saying, I've got 40 billion, I've got 40 billion, I've got 50 billion. Give me a break, would you? Just get good content and the people will find you.
Jeremy has been dying to get into the show here all week on Marlins coverage, and you sent me a text that surprised me, David. Jeremy, has anybody talked about the idea that legendary broadcaster Tommy Hutton might not be going out exactly on his own terms?
Is that right?
Have you heard any theories on this? Because David Samson has a different theory on this that I had not heard.
I have not heard that. Like, in every conversation I've had with Tommy, it was all about, like, I'm at a stage where I'm still healthy and want to live the rest of my life
What did he tell
comfortably.
you?
I think so. I asked straight up, like, is this your decision? And his answer was yes. He wanted to come back. Now, the TV landscape is changing, and obviously now the Marlins are going to Marlins.tv. This is a different form of broadcast than they've had before, but Tommy's been talking about this for years, and this was a decision that he made proactively.
David?
Yeah, lost in textlation, Dan. What I meant to communicate with you is that all of the grief that Mike Ryan likes to give me, and he did some shrapnel yesterday that just was wrong, and I'm tired of it, and it's time that he got corrected, and I know he doesn't like being corrected, but you blamed Jeffrey Loria for Tommy Hutton's being fired by Fox back in the day. I was there. That's not how it happened. What actually happened is that he wanted too much money and Fox said no. It was that simple. And then he was let go. They could not come to a contract agreement. There was two people up for renewals at that time, Rich Waltz and Tommy Hutton. Rich Waltz came to agreement. Tommy Hutton did not. That's all. It was not Jeffrey Loria calling up and saying, fire Tommy Hutton. Absolutely not. Now, was Tommy Hutton popular in the clubhouse? No. Was he beloved by anyone in the traveling party? No, but Tommy knows that. Was he very, very tough on players who listened to it? Yeah. Did we turn the volume off in the clubhouse? 100%. Were there conversations about freezing him out on team charters? 100%. Was there talk about replacing vodka with urine? 100%. But did we fire him? Absolutely not.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. I got that wrong. That's on me. It seems as though you just decided to apply pressure to not renew him. Vodka and urine.
No, we... Mike, you say tomato, I say tomato.
Right. Cool. Same deal. You forced him out.
Wait, we were saying that he was one of the most critical broadcasters in the history of South Florida. You guys did not like that, and that's why he didn't have a job for a while.
But that's not right. That's my point. If he had settled for a reasonable salary, then Fox would have kept him.
Wasn't us. It was Fox.
David, was there one particular instance where maybe you and Jeffrey Loria were especially infuriated with his critical nature?
No, I didn't care, actually. I was one of the people who didn't care. There were a bunch of players who did not care and a bunch of players who were super sensitive. There's actually a through line. If you've got thin skin, then Tommy Hutton can get to you. If you have thick skin, then he can't. And there's plenty of players who are thick and plenty of players who are thin, and that goes for executives as well.
I don't understand why and how you decide to run marathons. You recently, on your birthday, decided to take an enormously long flight to Tokyo to run in a marathon that you had not trained for, and then you immediately came back. It wasn't to enjoy Tokyo, it was to run in Tokyo. Why are you punishing yourself that way?
Well, I made a commitment. And I'd signed up. It's hard to get into the Tokyo Marathon. There's 6 major marathons in the world. Tokyo's one of them. And I'd gotten in and I'd expected to train because that's what you do. And I've done for all of the 30-plus marathons I've done. But life changed, and I was only able to run once in 6 months. But I thought I deserved to torture myself as much as possible, so I wasn't going to cancel. And I went and I tried. I didn't earn the start line, which you have to do. And I paid the price at mile 13 when I seized up completely and fell to the ground. But I got myself up and I walked the last 13 miles with just, I just wouldn't quit. And I'm surrounded by people in my family who are not quitting, so I'm not going to quit. And I wasn't going to quit, but I would not suggest it to anyone. My hips hurt right now. I had chafing in some very weird places, like weird places that I wouldn't have expected. And I've been a chafe guy, since I started doing marathons.
Your nipple chafer?
And
begs the follow-up, David.
I think he's talking about the taint.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
That's where I would expect it, though.
No, I've never chafed there. You can chafe right sort of in front of that, and so you goop that up.
Yep.
I do nipple covers, of course. The underarms you have to take care of because you can chafe there.
Underarm.
I've been lucky enough not to have in-between thigh chafing, but that's a big one for certain people.
That happens
but
to me at
what
theme parks.
happened is when I got in the shower.
Know about that thigh
When
gap?
you get in the shower, you learn where you've chafed. And I felt something that I'd never felt in all my years doing marathons. And let me tell you, it was not good.
Yeah.
Little aloe vera, Dan. Right on the.
That was a showstopper.
Dale.
Around 4 p.m. at a theme park, done.
That's when you're sweaty in your flip-flops. It's not great. It's avoidable. But, Dan, the answer is I do like torturing myself, and it's not.
Well,
it's
you
not great.
said the phrase you said, deserve to torture myself. Like, what are you doing?
I'm just, I guess my thought was that I've got my daughter going through something way worse than this. And so if she's going through something bad, then I can put myself through something that's not nearly as bad. And I think that was definitely in my head during the course of the marathon, that what I'm doing is nothing compared to what she's going through and doing and living with. So for me, it was not the math was easy on it.
Deserve though, Dave. Like that you could phrase that any number of different ways that isn't I deserve to torture myself.
Well, I'm not going to get on your couch right now, but I will tell you that of course I feel that way. I've been fortunate with everything my whole life, and I'm fortunate right now. I have my health. I've lived a full life, and so why would I deserve to make another memory when I've got a family member who can't do that right now? So That's my answer. Why are we talking about this? I'm happy to do it. Whatever you want, Dan. It's your show.
Speaking of torturing yourself, I've read some of the reviews for The Bride, and I'm wondering if you're into the concept as a whole for The Bride, or if you're going to watch it. Are you going to support Maggie Gyllenhaal taking a big swing with The Bride?
I love Maggie Gyllenhaal. Absolutely love. So people are saying that Jessie Buckley can't win the Oscar for Hemnet because it's so bad. I have not seen it yet.
The take is this
It's so
performance in this
ridiculous.
movie is so bad that her incredible performance in Hamnet should be erased and perhaps start wagering on Rose Byrne.
It's so crazy to me when people do that. Like, Oscar winners only make good movies. It's silly. It's like our friend Nick Cage. It's okay to make a stinker once in a while. It doesn't take away from the fact that you left Las Vegas. Everything is totally fine with her. She's going to win the Oscar. I will probably see The Bride. It'll be a stream, maybe an airplane. I'm going to see it, maybe a double feature with Wuthering Heights. But no, I'm not rushing to do it.
For those that are not familiar with The Bride, it is a reimagining of The Bride of Frankenstein set in 1930s Chicago.
Oh, boy.
Where they're like Bonnie and Clyde. I don't know. There seems to be a lot going on, which explains the early release in the calendar.
Mike, how excited are you that Amy Madigan is the favorite? I just butchered the last name. It's Ed Harris's wife. She's such a great actress. Field of Dreams. Madigan. I'm having a moment.
It's Madigan.
She is,
I'll bail you out. Not super pumped. Just okay. I'm just lukewarm on it.
on her winning the Oscar?
I'm just trying to help you out here. You were searching for it.
You love that movie.
Mm-hmm. Which movie?
Weapons.
That was a girl from Field of Dreams?
Yes, of course.
Man, I didn't know that.
Wait,
That was so good. I had no idea. That is incredible. Wow.
But the goods.
Wow, you're right. Huh. I didn't catch that.
I don't feel like
She's
your
with Ed
sarcasm
Harris?
is warranted.
No, it's not sarcasm. I'm learning this for the first
She
time.
was also in Gone Baby Gone.
Wow.
Wait, you didn't know she was married to Ed Harris?
No, I didn't know that. And I didn't know that she was a Field of Dreams lady.
Wow. Do you watch
Okay.
movies?
I do watch movies.
All right.
Dave, I saw a movie. I saw Basic Instinct over the weekend. What a movie.
He'd
Dave,
never seen
what
it.
a movie.
He'd never seen it before.
What are you going to do? Charge me with smoking?
Oh, what a line. And they both used it.
It's so good. The only bad part about that movie, looking back, and there's only one part, Sharon Stone is going with the story now that they didn't tell her that they were going with that shot, and that bothers me.
Yeah, right. No way. No way.
That's a new thing.
For those
She's
of
now
you who
claiming
don't
it.
know, Basic Instinct, because Tony had never seen it before, the famous scene from that movie is her being interrogated and being so casual in the interrogation that she uncrossed her legs in a way that was suggestive.
Newman was shook.
Newman was
It
sweating.
wasn't suggestive. It was
It was on purpose, Dan.
Well,
Yes.
she says
Throw
that-
off the investigation, Dan.
she says she didn't know that they were doing that.
I mean,
you're
David-
saying it's on purpose, and she's saying that the real her didn't know that they were filming that to be suggestive or otherwise.
David, would you agree?
Did she not know she had no undies on?
Like, David, you would agree that scene catapulted her career.
That
She was
movie.
pretty good in Total Recall.
Yeah,
Before that.
That's another one I'm going to watch next.
Yeah, I mean, if she didn't know, why would she do that with her legs? That is not a normal thing to do. I mean, let's uphold some decorum here.
We're going to review something here with David Samson. What are we reviewing today?
I really hope, and we didn't rehearse this, and I'm sorry, but did anyone watch the documentary on Amazon called Soul Power, The Legend of the American Basketball Association?
I'm getting to it.
It is 4 episodes of perfect. If you are a fan of sports of any kind, and I don't know if there's anyone in studio right now who's interested or has a show called Alley Oops or anything like that, but if you're a basketball person and you're not watching this, then I'm questioning the rebar in your being a basketball person.
Trista, he's coming after you.
If you're a basketball fan, you should have watched this. Are you like my question? I'm sorry. I know we're just getting to know each other. Are you a sports fan?
Yes, I love sports. Basketball is my favorite sport. I was never a baseball fan. That was my job. Basketball to me is always been my true love.
He was a heckler, Trista. He was a heckler. He went to Knicks games and he would heckle the players.
Biggest test of a true fan.
No, I went to games. I watched games. I would not make plans, both as a college student or a law student or a husband or a father, which may explain all sorts of things, but I would not make plans on either any home game or road game of the Knicks, as I was a New Yorker and the Knicks were everything to me. I watched every single game from 1975 until 1999, so 24 straight years before I got into baseball and couldn't really do it anymore. And the highlight of my life, Trista, if we're just getting to know each other, is not winning the World Series. The highlight was when the Knicks beat the Pacers in 1994 to finally make it to the finals for the first time in my fandom. And it was the most meaningful experience I've ever had in sports by far. And I've had some really cool ones. But this documentary, 4 parts, that is... George Karl is involved. Julius Erving, if you know, obviously the doctor, but he got his start with the New York Nets in the ABA. There's Dan Issel. There's a Darnell Hillman who's in it, who was always the guy. That's the Fletch character, the one with the 6'4" with the
6'8"
afro.
with the afro.
Exactly. So it is. I learned so much. Some of the great business deals of all time happened in the merger of the NBA and the ABA. And there was consolidation, and people did lose their jobs. And the three-point shot started in the ABA. Think about that. People don't realize that. So the slam dunk contest started in the ABA, not in the NBA. The ABA game was way closer to what the game is today than what the NBA ever was back then. So it's really interesting to learn about this part of the history of the game you love.
Samson, we'll talk to you next week. Again, I will encourage everybody in the audience. Nothing Personal is the podcast. It continues to grow at a great rate because he does and Coca does a great job with that. So check out Nothing Personal wherever it is that you get your podcast. Thank you, sir. I have gone the entire show here over the course of 2 hours. There are any number of things that make me regularly feel old in sports. Jermaine O'Neal Jr. playing for SMU. I mean, I'm old enough to remember Jermaine O'Neal came straight out of high school. His father came straight out of high school into the league and was unusually good as a young person. And more recently, what's happening more and more, is that people who are a part of my past are dying. Lou Holtz represents the first controversy of my career. Tony has accused me of not standing on business, on standing on shenanigans.
An empire built on shenanigans here.
The first controversy I ever had writing anything was in the school paper at the University of Miami, the Hurricane. Before they played the University of Miami in a game that was plenty, fiery without my help, I printed Lou Holtz's phone number in the college newspaper and told University of Miami students to call that number.
So you've been a rabble-rouser shit stirrer your entire life.
Did it have an area code when you put it out there, or was it just 7 digits?
It was his office number. It was not his home number. It was more respectful. I don't think his administrative assistant was very happy with me. Neither was Jimmy Johnson, for that matter. Jimmy Johnson, that's the first time Jimmy Johnson got mad at me. What were
you asking people to, like, you didn't just put his number, like you wanted
I said shower him with praise.
There
I said shower him, like
praise.
Compliment him on being Notre Dame spiritual, lovely. I asked Mike Ryan, I requested Mike Ryan to do his Lou Holtz impersonation from the Beyond because it's a flattering impersonation meant to honor the memory of Lou Holtz. We now have to clear out our Lou Holtz file in our library. Respectfully, yes. So let's clear it out. The sneeze is something that I remember. The legendary broadcasting sneeze that is a bigger memory of Reese Davis because of how quickly he reacted to it.
Also mentioned Amir Abdullah. Now, Marshall, usually it's all Rakeem Cato who did throw a touchdown pass in his 40th. Devin Johnson put up 272 yards. That's a Marshall record. Nothing to sneeze at.
Oh, that's a host. That's a polished host.
That is a wet sneeze that sounds like a horn from a 1920s automobile. It's wet.
Hey, yo.
A lot of spray at the end.
It is.
Ayo.
Respectfully.
Okay, that doesn't mean we have to retire that, does it? Though once we end the,
I think we can keep the sneeze.
I just asked to empty the file, and that's where we started. Do we have any Lou Holtz impersonations by Mike Ryan? Because I was hoping that I was hoping that we could wrestle that away from ESPN.
I will certainly not be doing that because I am respectful.
So we don't have any of that. Do we have anything else in our library, our Lou library? No, we have to have more than just the wet sneeze that sounds like a 1920s Studebaker. It is. It's crowded at an intersection.
Featuring Inflight magazines.
Inflight magazines. Slayed the pandemic. Traveling again. Big bird up. But something's different. I look in the seat pocket in front of me, and all I see is that cardboard pamphlet about the plane that nobody reads, the drink menu nobody needs, and the barf bag. Where's my in-flight magazine? Where did it go? Joni was right. Don't it always seem to go? You don't know what you got till it's gone. They paved paradise, put up a parking lot, and then stole my in-flight magazine. These staples of Americana predated even Greg Cody. Pan Am Airways published the first IFM in 1940. Now the high-flying mags are disappearing like donuts in a press box. Southwest Rag, augustly called simply The Magazine, is gone now. Delta Sky, gone. American Way, gone. Retired after 55 years. Alaska and Emirates Airlines, too, gone. Airline magazines falling from the sky one by one. Some others, like United Hemispheres, are now digital only. Blame the pandemic. COVID killed the in-flight magazine, or rather gave airlines an excuse to make a cutback like businesses did with remote meetings where the office buildings used to be. But more than that is to blame. The digital era stampeded the helpless handheld mag. In-flight entertainment and mobile browsing happened. Airlines have even claimed noble reasons for discontinuing their magazines, like how removing all of them makes planes lighter, which saves on fuel. Sounds like malarkey. Hurtling cabins once were full of rattling newspaper pages held wide. Then those disappeared, and then I was the last flyer still leafing through an in-flight magazine while everybody else was softly chuckling at a movie or listening to music with earbuds. I miss every bit of the airline magazine, the greeting from the airline president, the Penn and Teller at the Rio ad, the dating and hair restoration ads, and the one inviting me to invest in a home care franchise, things to do in Minneapolis, the list of top 10 steakhouses and America's best plastic surgeons, the crossword puzzle inevitably half-finished and poorly by a previous seat occupant. Oh, and the feature story on Southwest Customer Service Agent of the Month. You can't get that anywhere else. Most of all, I miss, anybody else remember Sky Mall? Oh, yes. My gosh. It was Amazon before Amazon, only at 30,000 feet. Talk about built-in marketing. Bored flyers stuck in a cabin for 3 hours slamming cocktails are liable to buy anything, which Sky Mall offered. I'll never forget the time, after 3 or 4 deep eddies, I accidentally bought a life-size Bigfoot garden gnome for $2,250. Airlines, I will gladly pay extra if the bag I check is a pound too heavy. I'll put up with your cancellations, and with a hot meal being replaced by a 1-ounce bag of pretzels. Just please, Give me back my Inflight magazine. See, I never played that Sudoku puzzle, but I sure did like knowing it was there. I'm Greg Cody, and that's how it was back in my day.
The game has changed. Weed is legal now with Stugotz and Greg Cody.
I'll tell a story if it makes you feel better.
Yeah.
When I first took the first edible I ever took was in New York, and at the time I was breaking the law. Okay, so now you can feel good about telling your story. And the guy told me, "Hey, just eat half of this." And so I ate half, and I waited, and I waited, and I waited, and I didn't feel anything. And he begged me just to eat half. And he did say on the front end it might take a while. But I was impatient.
Right.
Because when you smoke marijuana, you get instant gratification. And waiting an hour or two for something to kick in was not something I was familiar with.
Right.
So I ate another half, which became a full cookie. And 60 minutes later, I don't remember anything. I woke up the next morning on the floor in my wife's uncle's apartment because Abby had to throw me into a cab with her, and she took me home. And I was curled up in the fetal position, and I don't remember a thing after the second half of that cookie.
Wow.
This was last Wednesday. So, with that being said, feel free to share your story of you having 4 cookies in Colorado.
Yeah, I wolfed them down. It was 3 or 4. I didn't know
3
how.
or 4?
Yeah,
You don't
wolfed them
ask?
down.
You don't
Well,
say, "Hey, person I'm purchasing this from, how fast should I do these?"
The guy at the thing, and it was one of those official things where you're, they dress like pharmacists in there, and they sold me a vial of edible cookies, and it was in Colorado, so it's 100% legal. And my wife and I are getting ready to go to dinner. We popped open the thing. She had a nibble of one, and I ate, I think, probably 2 or 3, and it hit me by the time we got to that restaurant.
I just love how terrified you are of this conversation. You keep throwing in there like it's perfectly legal what I did.
To be fair to Greg, this has not exactly been, the most up and up thing to talk about for 60 years of his life.
Right, exactly.
This is a fairly recent phenomenon. We just go, oh yeah, everything's fine now.
No, and I don't, we did that because we were vacationing in Colorado, and I wanted to
Stop giving qualifiers.
I have to give a qualifier.
Greg, more qualifiers.
It feels better when you're doing it legally. It
Right,
does.
I'm gonna. I don't smoke anymore. I mean, I don't do that. I did in
Totally
college.
lying, trying to make them feel better. I mean,
Thank you. Thanks for that.
getting away with it was much more fun. I mean, seriously.
I had my day doing that. So
We used to get dime bags at a place in Hillside, Queens. It was called the Tie Door. Oh, was it fantastic? You never saw the guy. You just saw his hand. You would see his
like
hand.
a first touch in a marriage?
Yeah, you would open up this little sliding door in Hillside, Queens. You would see his hand. He would see your hand. You'd never see each other. He'd put weed in your hand. You would put money in his hand, and that was it. That was a transaction. It was great. Called the Tie Door.
Weed first, then money?
Money first.
Oh, there
well,
you go.
it was like you would do it at the same time, but occasionally.
So you'd see both hands.
Yes, correct.
Once every 6 months, you'd hear stories of like some guy sticking his hand and then getting arrested on the spot. The cuffs right on the wrist. That's all you see, the wrist, and then.
I always wondered, is today going to be the day? Because I went every day. And it wasn't far from my house. But is today the day that it's going to be a cop on the other side of that door? I did. I feared that every single day. But it didn't stop me from going out there every single day. Hop, skip, and a jump.
Is that fear worth it?
Yes. The fear is what made it. Greg's right. Now you walk in, they're dressed like they're experts,
Right.
pharmacists.
Yeah.
It made me a little nervous. More nervous than meeting a guy at a tie door, never seeing him, just exchanging things in our hands.
That's right.
What happened to you after eating 3 or 4? Like, can you?
Back to you.
Yeah.
we went to a restaurant and, spent $300 on appetizers. And
Hell yeah.
And I remember, I'm not a fast talker.
if anything, I'm a slow, deliberate talker who says a lot of ums and ahs.
Right.
My wife at that restaurant accused me of speed talking, of talking faster than I ever had in my entire life, which I wasn't even conscious of. So yeah, it hit me very hard.
All right.
Enjoyable though. I have no idea what I ordered for my main course.
3 or 4 though, man.
Yeah.
Are you sure you didn't do cocaine?
No, they were edible.
I've never had
cookies.
someone really high and be like, "This, you shut up, dude."
I know. Believe me, that was new to me too. Because normally you're talking like a 1970s, rock DJ.
Or is it possible that life had slowed down so much for your wife that by
It seemed like you were
were
Right.
talking normally, but to her you were talking at an incredibly fast rate of speed?
That's possible. That's a possibility.
Oh
That's a
my
good point.
god.
Did the waiter walk up and you're like, "I ate edibles," because you're just like terrified?
No. Believe me,
It's legal here. I'm on vacation.
Believe me, I'm sure he sensed it. Working in that state and seeing somebody in that state, I'm sure he sensed something.
How much was the bill that night?
Oh gosh, I think we ordered a nice bottle of wine, which always jacks it up. So I think it was like a $400 bill.
I mean, you were hammered.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
4 cookies and a
Yeah.
bottle of wine.
Oh my gosh.
Probably like
Jesus
7
Christ.
Miller Lights.
Right. Exactly. And that was at the restaurant. But seriously, no, it was a nice time. I love Colorado. I really do.
It's the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just the whole the scenery, the vibe of it.
Mhm.
We went to the Red Rocks Amphitheater just to walk around because it's such a stunning venue. It's a tourist attraction in and of itself. So.
Red Rocks is my favorite venue
Yeah.
of all time.
It's
of
a-
all the places I've seen the dead, that and Shoreline Amphitheater.
Supposedly, it's one of the great venues. All the musicians rave about it, like the acoustics and the background and the seating arrangement. It's just beautiful. I would love to see somebody perform there. I never have.
Mike loves music. Have you ever been to Red Rocks?
I have not.
I would highly suggest that you get out there at least once in your life.
Yeah, I'm getting
It's
to
worth it.
Yeah.
Just waiting for the right show.
Everyone wants a service dog with Steve-O.
We are joined by a very famous persona from America, and also Steve-O, because Wendy from Peru is an internet sensation. Go ahead and tell the story, Steve-O, before we get in here. And always thank you for making time for us. But tell us why it is that your dog is more famous than you are, because I didn't think it was allowed that you can just find a dog on the streets of Peru, fall in love with it, and then just bring it over to America. I thought, didn't Johnny Depp or somebody get in trouble for trying to bring an animal into the country without the proper permission? Like,
Well, that was the other way around. He already had the dog and was trying to smuggle it into Australia. I was in Peru for a mountain climbing expedition, and I found Wendy here on the streets. And fortunately, the mountain climbing expedition was like a TV show, and the production jumped through all the hoops for me. So I really didn't have to do anything. And I was able to bring Wendy home. And the video I made about finding her, it garnered over 100 million views on Facebook, making it the most viewed video I've ever put on the internet. And it's kind of devastating for an attention whore like me. I've like, with the lengths that I've gone to, But Wendy and I, we are on a rock tour as we speak, barreling towards Syracuse for a show tonight. And we've got shows every single night in the Northeast U.S. For the next 12 days, Albany tomorrow night.
This video is adorable. Is Wendy's a service animal?
She is. You bet she is. Yeah, because I have terrible issues.
You should take more dogs, though. I mean, it seems to be working for
but
you.
I have terrible issues is a great sentence that would explain the last 25 years of your life. You've done great sort of capitalizing on, let me take a tour bus through my terrible issues.
Right. That's about right, man.
I have terrible issues.
and she brings you genuine comfort she's not a professional service dog license, and you've got the proper paperwork. Steve-O is now a paperwork man with a legitimate service dog that he needs for comfort.
You know what? I'm gonna break your guys' heart right here. There's no such thing as official certification for a service animal, and because and I did the deepest dive, man. I found the best dog trainer on the planet, and they were the ones who told me, yeah, there's no such thing as official certification. You know, we can sure train her, but that's never. I got a note from my doctor. I got some weird thing online that means nothing, which says certified service animal, but yeah, there's no such thing. You can ask a blind person.
This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show is presented by Bombas. Bombas brings the comfort in all your everyday go-tos. Socks, underwear, tees, and more. Use code DAN for 20% off your first purchase. That's BOMBAS.com/Dan.
I will tell the people again to please support the people who support us. And Bombas, as a new sponsor, I will tell you, my wife is an exceptional gift giver, and the best Christmas gift she gave me. If any of you suffer from cold feet, my feet are always getting cold. She rectified that problem by using Bombas.
So good.
Oh, my God. So good. I have not done something like that before, so I would strongly recommend that. And also, by the way, we've got the Never Miss Your Shot golf people here in town supporting our live streams over the next couple of months. Yeah, so make sure to check out nevermissyourshotgolf.com to support the people who support us. Zaslow is doing Drive Time the next couple of days on ESPN Radio with Harry Douglas. You got to get me the sound of Bo Bach yelling at Harry Douglas to celebrate. Maybe you can play this sound for Harry Douglas, made famous on Bo Bach's show, but also our show, where Bo Bach is yelling about Harry Douglas in a way that is shaking a prescription pill case. You haven't heard it. You're looking at me like you have not heard it. I saw earlier in the show that Tristan and Jeremy had not heard something that we have played around here that has become popular. Chris is going to get that sound for us in a moment so you could see and hear for yourself who it is that Bo Bach is yelling about, because it's the only time I've done word association on Harry Douglas. I do not think of him as a former Falcons receiver. I do not think of him as a current broadcaster. I think of him as the object at the center of Bo Bach's rage.
I mean, you don't know anything about what you're talking about, and you have the nerve to call up here and say to me that we're trying to upsell the Falcons to you? Sir, you're not a Falcon fan. You haven't been. And if you have been, you don't know what you're looking at.
Stop being a homer, Bo. Get out of my
I'm the last who's a homer. Don't you ever call me a homer. Who the hell do you think has been saying the truth since 1973 on Atlanta radio? Who?
We've got disagreement between Trista and Jeremy on the C or no signs. Jeremy is giving that a hearty C.
That's all
Trista
time.
is giving that a no.
This guy is a nutball.
Yeah, that about covers it. It's a good question. Take it up with Trista. You should, Bo, you take it up with Trista. She's calling you a nutball.
Who?
I already told you. That's a very limited impersonation you're doing of Bo Bach there. You only got the who. You don't have anything else.
Who?
I heard you the first 3 times. Something that we were discussing yesterday that I want to put in front of the group based on a Tom Haberstroh stat.
What do you say?
So, to Mike Ryan's point on the Miami Heat aren't accomplishing anything by getting in the play-in game, I was saying there are 10 teams in the league that are trying to lose, and if you're just simply not one of them, you're going to get into the playoffs. Those 10 teams together presently have a 44-game losing streak.
It's unreal. It's unreal.
But they're just existing. They're they're not NBA teams. They're only NBA teams in name and uniform, but they're only out there to make sure to lose.
Wow, you're right. You look at the teams that are outside the play-in both conference, they're all on losing streaks. Matter of fact, only one of them is not on an actual streak. They've lost one game in Chicago.
It's not an accomplishment to get into the basketball playoffs when that's what are you shaking your head about, Jeremy?
The play-in rocks. Like, the play-in is the reason the Hornets have played hard at this point of the season.
What are you talking about? The Hornets are playing hard because they're a good team.
No, the Hornets have tanked for 9 years in a row. And if they had been as bad as they were for the first 2 months of the season, they would have mailed it in and have a bunch of guys with fake surgeries also, just like the rest of these teams. But because they had an opportunity to still get to the postseason, they were able to evolve over the course of the season. It's going to be the coolest test of the play-in ever. They might be a 9 or a 10 seed.
They might be.
Despite being one of the best teams in basketball during the second half, and this will give them an opportunity to get to the postseason. I don't know how we could possibly perceive the play-in as a bad thing when that's a possibility.
Charlotte is not looking at being like, all right, let's get this big three together and see what we can do with Miller, with LaMelo Ball, and with Concanipple, and see if we can make the play-in. This is like, all right, we're playing for year 2 of this, year 3 of this, year 4 of this. Let's see what we have here so we know what we have going forward.
They think they're good.
Yeah.
Finally,
Wait, but they would have thought they were bad.
Finally, we have to get to the accuracy because below the Heat, there is a team, and that's the Hornets that are on a win streak. A 6-game win streak, by the way, and they're beating teams in those 6 games by over 15, which is a larger margin than every other team except for the 2017-2018 Golden State Warriors. And to that I say, if the Hornets end up in the playoffs and they're an 8 seed, Cade Cunningham, watch your ass.
Whoa, that sounded like a threat and a warning. Put it on the poll, please. Is Concanipple the greatest name presently in basketball? And also put it on the poll, is Concanipple the greatest name ever in basketball?
It was at least a month ago that, like a crazy person, Tony was saying that there could be some good odds on Concanipple to win Rookie of the Year. Is he now the favorite?
Yeah, he is the favorite now. Yeah.
Yeah, but you walked it back because Cooper Flagg had a 49-point game.
Didn't walk it back. Said
Tone.
Instantly when I said it.
Tone.
I don't know, Dan. I can have Mike Fuentes pull up because he was looking at it yesterday. I can say, look, the take was they're going to give it to Cooper Flagg because of politics. Zaz, as you would say, politics. There's your dollar right there. Give me a dollar. Zaz?
Dollar.
Okay, thank you. So politics will give it to Cooper Flagg. But we know that the better numbers and the better game is being played by Concanipple. And that was my take. The next day, he had 49 points, and I said, Dan, look what it is. I give you this beautiful take, this tapestry of take, and then all of a sudden Cooper Flagg has 49 points. Again, that's not walking back my
proof.
tape.
We have the proof here that
beautiful.
Tony got it right when he said a long time ago. He was telling you about Concanipple. He's not wrong. He's just early.
Bet the castle that Concanipple is your Rookie of the Year over Cooper Flagg. I know that's crazy. I know people are going to say there's no way Cooper Flagg is generational. If you look at what what Concanipple is doing for the Charlotte Hornets, you'll be very surprised. He's had a lot of really good games. True shooting percentage of 63, where Cooper's is more of like 54. Bet the castle Concanipple is your Rookie of the Year.
It's pretty good.
It's decent, right?
Pretty good.
I do decent work sometimes. And again, like Dan said, not wrong, just early. And Concanipple, LaMelo Ball, if he can stay, straight and narrow on his car, literally.
Stay in his lane.
In his lane,
wow.
Literally.
Despite his dad's famous tagline.
And also,
literally stay in your lane.
Exactly right. And Brandon Miller, making sure that he's also on the straight and narrow. Concanipple is the masterpiece of the Charlotte Hornets franchise to keep everybody in the same way going forward.
Man, I want one of those. A star to build around?
He's great.
That sounds amazing.
Well, he is great, but I think I have it right when I say their best player is Brandon Miller, which is when LaMelo Ball was their best player, they looked like they looked because he was irresponsible and selfish with the usage rate. But I don't think the nation at large knows how good that team is, and that team is that good, I believe, because they've put Ball into a place where he's their third option, not their first option. Do I have that wrong, Trista?
He's still, he's facilitating and playmaking, and he's still the guy. There is a one-legged sort of Dirk-esque step back from the other night.
He did it again last night.
He is electric. I am now starting to come back onto the LaMelo Ball trade. I think he's a winning player now. Like, truly, the lobs that he's making, I just am so enticed by this team. But I gave the photo. I don't know if we have it in queue, but Andy Roddick has jumped on to the Charlotte Hornets train with his hot-ass wife.
Oh, you know about that hot-ass wife, Dan?
You know about that hot young wife, Dan?
I do not.
Whoa.
I think you do.
Whoa, no, Dan, you got to say yes. Dan, you got to say yes there.
You know about it.
You got to say yes there.
You gotta say yes. We love her.
What is the matter with the inner monologue and how it's coming out all fuzzy? So Andy
Yeah,
Roddick.
I didn't like that cold feet thing. You know, that goes both ways. You were a famous bachelor. Maybe it was some symbolism that she was trying to tell us.
Tell me about Andy Roddick's hot ass wife. What are we doing here? Why is Zaz?
It's Brooklyn Decker.
She's in that Adam Sandler movie. Just go with it. I mean, comes out of the ocean.
The early aughts.
I was watching
the
this
ocean
game,
scene.
and I'm like, that cannot be Andy Roddick. I went backwards on my league pass because, of course, they're still hating on our Hornets. You know, putting them on league pass, not putting them on prime time, even though the Spurs are beating the Sixers by 40. Yeah. But still a league pass. And I paused it, and I Googled it, and I said, Brooklyn Decker has the Andy Roddick in a moose hat. And all I thought was, I need Dan and his hot-ass young wife to put him in a moose hat.
We gave the stat earlier in the show that Charlotte starting lineup is 20-2. They have won 16 of their last 19, and they've beaten the last 3 defending champions by more than 20 points. They do that in Boston They smoked Boston last night from the very beginning of that game. And
Boston-Charlotte first-round series would be fun.
But that's the first time in 60 years. Like, I don't know how I could give you guys something more surprising in basketball than that nowhere franchise that has on its Mount Rushmore of moments that a purple shirt guy on their sideline pissed off Dwayne Wade to get them eliminated from the one playoff series that Kemba Walker had a chance to win in his entire career, to be a team that all of a sudden is fun and smoking the last 3 defending champions. It hasn't happened in 60 years to take out that caliber of team where you're taking out Boston, OKC, and Denver that way. I'm not kidding you when I say it represents the best stuff that you've seen in the history of that franchise, and you have to go back to find anything like it. Jamal Mashburn knocking out Anthony Mason and Alonzo Mourning's Heat to find anything in that franchise's history that anyone remembers.
But I even believe that team you're talking about was New Orleans, though. I don't even think it was the Charlotte.
It was pre-Charlotte.
No, it was Charlotte.
Yeah?
They made the trade.
Yeah, it was Charlotte.
It was Eddie Jones.
The starter jacket.
Yeah.
My boss.
Yeah, no, that was a bad one.
What was that? What was that word?
My boss, Dale.
He's right.
Okay, he's right.
I will say this, though, Dan, to your point, though, Brandon Miller is probably their best player. He almost feels like a young Paul George in the making, where it's like he can kind of do everything at that size, where it's like, ooh, wow, wait a second. Like, he could be a dynamic player in this league in the next couple of years.
They have 3 young stars built
Yeah,
around.
they do. They have 3 young stars.
All it took was being the worst team in the world for 15 years.
And Zion James, another Dookie, really good.
Again.
And Moose.
I don't understand just the clear lack of confidence that you have in Pat Riley and this front office to nail a lottery pick. It's like everybody's like, why would we tank? We're obviously going to shit the bed when we pick somebody. What do you have trust in?
No,
your
I just hope that we could get a number 1 pick so we can get guys like Ben Simmons and Markelle Fultz and DeAndre Ayton and Zion Williamson, or a number 2 pick like Alex Sarr, a number 3 pick like Scoot Henderson. Oh, it'd be so awesome to get one of those top picks like Keegan Murray or Jaden Ivey.
Yeah, that's what you think the Miami Heat are going to do with the opportunity, and I actually have faith in the Hall of Famer Pat Riley.
And by the way, Mike,
I think he's going to do well.
Really quick, what happened last year in the lottery last year where the Miami Heat's pick what
happened?
It
was multiple years.
We signed
a peace deal where I'm not going to talk about that because
the Dallas Mavericks had the Miami Heat's pick, and what happened?
No,
we signed a peace treaty.
We signed a peace treaty. He's not allowed.
I didn't sign it.
All right, then
I
go
didn't
to the
sign it.
finals
I didn't
twice
sign
in
it.
6 years,
Oh,
and then tell me about being the Hornets.
I'd rather have Cooper flagged.
I'd rather be the Hornets. Ridiculous.
And Wemby, too. That was another one, Dan. I had two of them
I
under my
wasn't
belt.
laughing at Jeremy. I was laughing at how much Zaz, who's
Never
meant
laugh
to
at
look like Pitbull, looked like Michael Chiklis instead. You guys
Jeffrey Tambor
just
over there.
mentioned Wemby, and I erred, I think, slightly in talking basketball earlier this week when I said if we were going in the most predictable sport with what would and should be the most predictable thing, Boston and OKC having those kinds of point differentials would make them obvious, predictable favorites. But I really didn't account for something that is a wild card, which is a lot of betting money is coming in on Wemby because of how OKC looks scared of him. Like that, OKC, there's only one team in the sport the last, I'm going to say 2.5 years. There's only one team in the sport that actually obviously scares OKC and distorts them. Do you guys believe in the sample size? It's a small one of OKC looking really bad against Wemby, only being throttled by Wemby, only being able to not stop someone defensively when it's Wemby's team.
Yeah, I think the thing about Wemby is he's like the middle linebacker of an NBA team. I saw him in the NBA Cup, and when he came in, they were down huge, right? And immediately everything changed. And he's telling all the perimeter guys, hey, go over there, go over there. And those perimeter guys like Dylan Harper, like Steph Castle, like Keldon Johnson, like Devin Vassell are able to get into the gym shorts of OKC, make life just as uncomfortable as the Thunder normally does to their opponents because they know that Wemby has such the wingspan that he can cover so much floor that even if they get cooked, he's there on the back end. Pause.
Hey, yo. Trista, I was thinking about this the other day, and obviously I like the pieces surrounding Wemby, right? I think they have a lot of good young players. My issue is I feel like the Spurs are going to end up in a bit of the same situation that the Pistons are in right now, which is you have your one star kind of being the centerpiece of everything. And if like Wemby has an off night or he's hurt or if he's just not playing well, it feels like I don't know if I trust a lot of those guys right now, this very moment, to go off and have this big run if Wemby's not playing well.
I am a little concerned about the shooters. There's a high variance nature to
Castle's great, he can't shoot.
Right. And like you still have Vassell, who I think is has become a really good 3-and-D guy, and he's an absolute bucket. He's become a lot better. I think the metrics for like left and right corner shots are like a little bit interesting. But yeah, I think in general, you saw that with OKC in the Dallas series a couple of years ago. They couldn't shoot for shit, and that's why they got sent home.
I love the association now. Honestly, it's been really easy to follow. You literally can jump in right now and kind of get the lay of the land immediately. It jumps off the screen. In the West, 3 teams got a shot. In the East, 4, maybe 5. And this is wide open. This is actually a really good thing. And I'm a child of the 90s where the sport was pretty predictable. I'm actually enjoying where we are.
I do, though, want to point out because I really don't think people are paying attention and shouldn't be to what Charlotte is doing. Give me the stat of the day, music, because it's not just that they're the most fun team in the league to watch the style of play right now. Wait till you hear this stat.
Start of the day, start of the day. This is start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day. This is start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day. This is start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day. This is start of the day.
Anybody here want to guess on those stats that I just gave that they're 20-2 with that starting lineup, Charlotte is, and they've won 16 of their last 19. You want to guess what Concanipple is shooting from 3? This is from Tom Haberstroh when LaMelo Ball and Brandon Miller are on the court, creating the chaos that allows him to just get wide open threes. You guys want to take a guess what his shooting percentage is from 3? Any of you?
52.
I was like going to go exactly 52, Zaz.
Yeah, 54?
58% from 3.
Is that good?
That's crazy. That's basically what LeBron James.
He's Steph Curry right
LeBron James's best season in Miami was the one where he shot 58% from the field. He decided, I'm just going to be efficient this year. I'm not going to play the way that I've been playing. It's just going to be, I'm going to make sure that I make the maximum number of shots that I can make. Usually to shoot 58%, you have to be dunking the basketball.
You have to be a big, getting shots of bunnies around the hoop, and his true shooting percentage is unreal. And that's why one of the things that I was saying about the Castle all that time ago was like, the advanced metrics love Con Knupp in a way that people love Cooper Flagg and what he's doing, and he's got decent advanced metrics too. But Con is so good that like people aren't realizing what it is that they're watching. Last week when you were in LA, Dan, I had the conversation with Amin. I was like, look, if whatever number he gets to is going to be a legendary number, but if Con Knupp can stay healthy, I think that one day he could maybe try and reach close to Steph Curry as far as made threes in a career.
You put so many diluters on the
Of
front
course I
end
had
of
to.
that in
I
order.
had to.
You rendered it irrelevant.
He had to stay healthy.
Everything that you said was rendered
He has
moot
to
by
shoot.
the fact. No, there were
No,
too many
hold on. I'm going to give you the
qualifiers.
math, though. I'm
The
gonna give you the
Hornets
math.
got a Steph Curry.
Yeah. They might have Steph Curry one day, by the way.
We got Tyler Hero.
He would have
And the same questions that we've always had about Bam Adebayo. Why is
the
this my
questions.
life?
Con Knupp would have to shoot 285 threes for 15 years to get where Steph Curry is right now.
How many decades do I have to ask if this guy puts it all together?
Jeremy's pitch clock is coming up later in hour 2, so we're going to again segregate baseball over there like we did during Jackie Robinson's day. We're going to segregate baseball.
I'm into the WBC.
He's been wanting to talk Marlins as well. He cannot do that. You're going to find all of your baseball stuff in the second hour of the show.
Have you not watched these spring training games, Dan, with the countries versus the MLB teams? I learned the other day that Jorge Posada is on the Italian baseball staff.
It's the best.
Jorge Posada.
He makes the salad.
Make it the salad. Jorge Posada did.
Domino is in the other room, and we are celebrating 305 Day. We are going to do so here with an assortment of games, obstacle courses, nonsense. I need some help here from the group on how it is that we're going to do this with Domino. Who's going to be competing? What are the rules? And what specifically are we doing here, Tony?
So we're doing an obstacle course with 2 different teams that have been pre-selected, all right? So our team is me, Trista, and Chris Cody. That's one team. And then the other team is Mike, Jeremy, and Zaz. So we're going to have 3 different stations. It's going to be relay race style. So when you finish one station, you got to get your baton, pass it to the next guy. He goes off and does it. So
Mike doesn't seem to like his teammates.
I don't like my team at all.
You're going to have to do a lot of heavy lifting today, buddy.
Talk about you, Jeremy.
All right, Billy Joel.
Do you want me to read you the list of obstacle courses that we're going to be going
They're
through?
not obstacles.
I think Homer Simpson's the best one.
You are human Homer Simpson.
Like Homer Simpson.
When did Homer wear sunglasses
I know,
and
just the
a
head.
suit?
Okay, how about Dean Norris in Breaking Bad?
Bald Jim Belushi.
Mr. Wonderful from Shark Tank.
Paul Schaefer.
Breaking Bad.
Hank.
I know.
Look at him.
Domino, what are the games that we are playing, and which team would you like out there first? Mike doesn't like his teammates. Tony seems overconfident. Which game are we playing first, Domino?
All right, first, aquí to see who is activado en hacer mode is going to be who can colar the best Cuban coffee with the best espumita and pass the taste test by our very own Frankie over here, who is the best Cuban coffee maker here in the studio.
He is.
All right. So first up, representing Team 954 and 786, we have Jeremy and Trista with the first challenge.
All right.
All right. So you guys
Definitely
get
know
out
how to do
there,
this.
and yes, Jeremy has no
This is
idea.
an exposure station, Dan.
If you like peen.
Yeah, no.
If it was latte station, Jeremy would have had it. A
It's
little
not
nice lavender
pina-
latte.
This is, I don't know if it's the opposite of pina colada, but it's very far from whatever it is.
Gonna be un
you think
pingazo
of.
colada.
This is.
Oye, este perro va a hacer café?
Yeah, this is what ruined Wingo's career.
Frankie's being very brave here.
Yeah, he is.
Please note that this Cuban bread you see here is the baton that will be passed throughout the relay race.
Oh, that's
okay?
nice. Okay.
Esto está más duro que... No,
Que un
decir
bate.
nada.
Sí,
No, un
cuidado.
bate no. Bueno, el bate que tengo aquí en los tights esto.
Hey, 305 Day.
Al lado de esta aquí,
Trista,
al lado de esta,
that
tú
was
sabes.
Trista, that was sexual harassment in Spanish. I don't.
Whoa.
No.
She reacted by looking at him funny, and she should have, because he claimed to have a loaf of Cuban bread in his tights.
A hard loaf.
Yeah. You wait a day. And it's harder than you in third period in 11th grade.
That's actually 2 days old.
Okay.
It's pretty hard.
All right, so forgive me, Domino, for not understanding. Is this a speed relay? Do they have to hurry up and do this? Like, why is a baton being passed? How is the game being played?
This is quality of the coffee. This is a taste test. They have to pass. Frankie will anoint who has made the best Cuban coffee, and he will say, "Ahora te puedes casar."
Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. And Domino, you lead. Please help us for the audio audience, and you can watch all of this, obviously, on YouTube. But give us some play-by-play as we go here, Domino,
All right,
on
so
what it is
Trista
they're
kind of looks
doing.
confused. She doesn't know which device to grab. She doesn't know which way to turn the apparatus. Jeremy here, you can see that he has been surrounded. He is Cuban by association. He is putting water in la cafetera. All right, properly.
I think he's putting watermelon water in the cafetera. This is dangerous. Those are flavored waters, Jeremy. You can't be just putting any old water in there.
Trista, I think, is playing Legos. Oh, no, she's got it. She's got the water. She's got the water.
Very difficult. Now, we did mention that this is a relay, so there are other events. Quickly, do you want to lay that out for the audience?
Yes, so there will be, after this, there will be a Latin soda blind test as well, and they will have to guess which soda they are tasting.
Oh, that's a good event to have Zaz as my teammate in. Look at his body.
And then there is also a Chankleta toss. Think a game knockout. Think the game knockout basketball, but for chancletas. And then there will be a question that they'll have to answer as well and finish the Pitbull quote.
Oh, okay. So we've got four. This is 4 games we're playing, and one of them starts with colada, and Mike Ryan's teammates don't have any. Have either of them ever had a colada?
Dog on the camera.
What is Ollie doing near the food with its ass? What is happening here? Why is that
Oye,
dog?
¿Qué asquerosidad? ¿Qué es eso?
¿Qué es eso, pata sucia?
Es una pata sucia, ¿verdad? All
That's
right, we're
definitely
packing the
dirty dining.
cafecito. We're packing the coffee. All right, there's a bunch of pictures of Zaslow here on the countertop for some reason.
Dale.
All right, we're getting there. This is a pretty even race right now. There's a pretty even race. I think the dog may jump off the counter.
Oh, Jesus.
It's okay. It's okay, Paul.
I can't believe I'm on the same team as Jeremy.
It seems like Trista's taking the lead here.
Okay, yeah, she is moving a little bit faster than Jeremy is. Have either Domino? Would you do me the favor of asking both of these people if they've ever had a colada?
Hey, have you guys ever had a colada before? Do you know what a colada is? Can you tell the audience what is a colada?
It's Cuban coffee.
Okay, she knows. She knows. Jeremy?
Yeah, same.
Okay, yes. The answer is yes. All right, here we go. So the coffee is colando. I have some questions, though, all right? I need you guys to play a game, play along. We have to figure out here who said this, Pitbull or a coach. All right. As the coffee is brewing, as Jeremy's almost done, did you press the on button on your...
Did I? Not yet.
Oh, no.
Relax.
All right, we're going to play. In my America, you're allowed to cross the state borders. That's the America I know. Jim Harbaugh or Pitbull?
Pitbull.
I mean, that has to be Jim Harbaugh.
Jim Harbaugh is the correct answer.
All right. It's good
All
for
right,
like
we have
morale.
a
not
true
necessarily
Miamian move here with Jeremy using the cafecito, little 1-ounce cup to put sugar to make his espumita. And then Trista looks like she's trying to give diabetes to everybody.
That's a lot of sugar. Yeah, it's a lot of sugar, but it's going to be better with a lot of sugar.
Hey, no helping.
We got the second question here. If you break down the word success, the word suck is in it. And when you're successful, you're giving people access to suck in excess. Jim Mora, Sr., or Pitbull?
Jim Mora.
Pitbull.
Pitbull Alley.
Yes. These should count as points. Because Jeremy's killing it.
Are we gauging the
No.
the sugar? Are we gauging the sugar? Have you guys put the appropriate amount of sugar here?
You're eyeballing it.
All right, it's brewing. It's brewing. All right, number 3 here. He opened a can of worms and I closed it. Buddy Ryan or Pitbull?
Buddy Ryan.
This is hard.
Man. I think that's Buddy Ryan, too.
Buddy Ryan is correct.
Wow. Jeremy gave her 3.
Oh, is Jeremy speaking Pitbull's language?
Who
Coffee
knew
is brewing.
Jeremy would be good at
Coffee
culture
is
Pitbull?
brewing. We're trying to see how the electricity here is working and see who it's favoring. All right, 4th quote. We didn't tackle well today, but we made up for it by not blocking. John McKay or Pitbull?
Wait a minute.
Not
It could
Pitbull.
be Pitbull.
No, why would it be? Why would it be Pitbull?
Could be.
Why would it be Pitbull?
Pitbull.
Jeremy?
John McKay.
The answer is yes, both.
All right.
What do you mean both?
It's both John McKay and Pitbull. Actually, as a matter of fact, Pitbull after the 2023 Week 4 loss versus the Buffalo Bills.
I told you. Could be Pitbull.
All right, and we have the final one. Who said
Tristan,
it?
what are you doing?
Pero, niña. Niña, más
No
azúcar.
cheating in there.
Demasiado
Esto
azúcar.
mucho.
Yeah.
No, Frankie, esto va a envenenar like she's gonna poison somebody here.
Yeah.
I think the whole cup is filled with
That's
the
way
whole
too
cup
much
is filled
sugar.
with sugar.
It's okay.
All right, here we go. The final one. Actually, like your cooking shows, where we've prepped everything beforehand. We have coffee already made. You don't have to worry about the electricity here.
What? Start your preparations.
So
Ooh,
you're
damn,
going to
keep saying
finish the
Spanish words
espumita,
like
the
covering
coffee,
your mouth
with
and
the
fading
final
out at
quote.
the end.
Who said it? Who said dale? Mario Cristobal or Pitbull?
Mario Cristobal.
Both.
The entire city of Miami dominó.
that's
Dale.
right. Dale.
Okay, señorita. Eso, mira, movimiento. Ahí, tiene que menearlo ahí. No, yeah, it's on the wrist, not in the fingers. You have to move the wrist. Move a circle motion, figure 8. Oye, que tú mira?
She's afraid of you and your tight pants and that hard loaf of
Yeah, I'm
Cuban
afraid of my
bread.
tight pants also. Oh, well, look, the electricity is working here. We have the coffee, but they're already at the espumita phase. Here we are. I think Trista's still figuring out the motion of the wrist action here for the espumita. Jeremy looks like he is an actual true Miamian.
No.
There's no cheating. Guys, at your stations, please. At your stations, don't proceed to the next area.
Whip his ass.
This is bad.
And we have Ollie here still overlooking on top of the counter.
Dog.
The water was too cold.
All right. Now let's go ahead and pour a shot for Frankie over here. Ah, bueno, ¿quién te manda?
Dog.
It's not ready.
Oh, that is some fine looking. That is some fine looking
I know it's
espumita.
bad.
That is some fine looking espumita.
Domino, do you have any projections here? It seems like Jeremy's going to win this.
I think Jeremy. Trista had taken over in the middle of the competition, and then now it looks like Jeremy's taking the lead, and it looks like his espumita is pretty fine. He's being gentle with his stir. Chef-like. All right, let's pour it up. Porque ya yo estoy ansioso y me hace falta aquí un cafecito. We have our ounces, our shot glasses here. Frankie, entonces, ¿qué tú crees de la espumita esa? ¿Se puede casar?
Está sospechoso, pero vamos a ver.
Sospechoso, suspicious for those that may
Frankie is brave. Let's see, Frankie, you give it a 1 to 10 here on how good this is. Go ahead. This is Jeremy's.
Okay, I'll put it. He's kind of nervous.
Yeah, he should be.
He's kind of nervous.
They're amateurs.
He consumed the whole shot.
Definitivamente se puede casar.
Se puede casar. The baton is passed.
Oh, wow. Wait, he's got to
He
have
has to
the
take-
other
now he
one.
has to taste Trista.
he's
Trista, hurry,
passed. All
hurry.
right, but he's got to trace. Yeah, okay. Let's see here. But Jeremy gets to go here. Trista seems to be leaking confidence. She does not.
I think she's nervous because of my tights.
Yeah, she seems to be in a state of disrepair. This has got a lot of sugar in it. Frankie, you tell us whose is better here. Mike is optimistic because he's very happy with what Jeremy did there. Oh, he spit it out.
All right, but he tasted it. Tasted it. You can go. Pass the baton. Pass the
Why does
baton.
she gets the baton.
She gets the baton because she did complete the shot. But she can't get married, is what Frankie's saying.
Okay, that is no good. He spit it out, and now we move the Cuban bread over into another obstacle course where Domino is shuffling into position. Way too much navel, way too much tight pants, way too much discomfort. I see people scurrying in the room away from Domino's pants, his tights. Domino? So what's the next game we're going to here?
So right now they are consuming 5 different Latin sodas.
Oh, wow.
Okay,
So this is good here. All right. So this game here, I'm not going to tell people what any of these things are, but let's see how we play this. Explain to us how we're going to do this taste test, Domino.
So right now, Cody just consumed his first soda, and he's going to guess what he consumed. So he has 5 cans that he's tasting and the 5 cans behind him, and he's going to place what he's consuming. Cody, what was that first one you think you tasted?
Tastes like apple, that one. The first one.
Tastes like what?
Apple?
Apple, manzana.
Okay, but Zaz doesn't have any idea what he's tasting here. He is a soda drinker's body, but he's not tried any of these things. He's not going to like any of them.
That's the problem here. It's totally a guessing game for me. I don't know soda.
Well, but these sodas wouldn't be sodas you'd know anyway, so you've just got to give us
How do you know that? You're stereotyping me.
Zaz, have you ever been to a Ventanita?
Yes.
You should definitely have had these at your nearest Ventanita. I'm just guessing. What are we tasting? Give me some tasting notes. Give the people at home some tasting notes.
It's like fruity. I can't tell what fruit. The first one tastes like apple. I'm just guessing on the rest. I have no idea what I'm drinking.
All right, we're on to the fourth soda. Cody here. It seems like Zazlo is going on to the fourth soda as well.
Zaz is not going to like Materva.
What are we tasting?
All right, I'm giving that a go.
All right, here's the guesses here. The first guesses. Carmen over here, the lovely Carmen, is going to tell.
None of them are right.
None?
Oh, no. How about Cody over here?
What about me?
You guys are terrible at this.
One right.
Only one right for
out
Cody.
of 10?
Zazlo has 0 right.
Between the two of you?
Come on, Zaz.
You got
Shuffle them up.
1 out of 10 right?
Dan, you got a guy from Cooper
no.
City and a guy from Plantation trying to figure out which one Hupina is. Give me a break.
Hupina is a great word.
It's got a pineapple on the cover.
Guys, pineapple. You didn't taste the pineapple in the Hupina?
4 right.
4 right. We have 4. Cody went from 1 to 4 correct. Zazlo still has 0. Correct. Cody, Anthony
Yeah, he got it.
He has got it. Pass the baton.
Oh, no.
Cody knows.
Zaz.
Cody knows. He's been to a Ventanita.
Zaz, you got nothing right. You got
Zaz
nothing.
has 0 correct at the
I
moment.
gave Zaz such a
One right.
lead.
1 right.
No, you didn't.
And we have the Chankleta toss happening right now. Tony is trying to complete the knockout round. Once he scores the Chankleta, he will have to finish a Pitbull lyric.
Cody, you once again overachieved and surprised people, and now Tony is just spending the entire time trying to toss chancletas into a garbage can with a giant lead. Zaz, you got to get Mike Ryan in the game.
How many are we
Tony
at
has
with Zaz?
thrown 400 chancletas without making a single one. Mike's going to get a chance. You got to get the hard loaf
Come
of
on,
bread
Zaz.
over to Mike, Zaz. Let's go.
Keep yelling at me. That helps.
I think Zaz is sabotaging Mike on purpose.
How many?
3 right.
Oh,
Zazlo
This
still at
one's
3
right.
sodas correct.
This one's right.
I don't know how I got it right
This
so
one's
fast.
As Tony proves that he's never shot a free throw.
No, he came very close to making that.
And the baton is being passed.
That's as fast as Zaz moves right there.
Okay, so Mike's in the game. Tony
Zaz running
Tony has missed 400 chancletas.
Here we go.
Mike Ryan is now trying to
clutch.
get in the game.
I would have been
Final
good
moments.
at this sport.
Stiff arms are happening to grab the Chankleta. Oh no, shoulder block.
Domino, can you please tell me what happens after this?
I'm sorry, I just got hit by a Chankleta.
Once one of them makes a chancleta, what ends up happening next?
They will have to finish the Pitbull lyric that I provide. The first one to provide, to finish the lyric, will win and have to go slam a double anyway on your countertop.
This is chaos.
So that is what wins here at the end is a domino being slapped down after somebody has successfully. Oh my God!
I came, I conquered, or should I say?
I saw, I came, I conquered, or should I say, I conquered, I saw, I came?
No.
I conquered. I saw, I conquered, I came?
Yes!
Yeah!
Damn it, Tony!
Grab the domino!
Slam the domino, that's it.
Okay, Tony, but the time is money. Only difference is I own it. Now let's stop. And I think Mike.
Tony!
You didn't do it on the right one.
Mike!
He didn't slam it on the right table.
He's winded.
What's the right table?
What's the right table?
Okay, no, that's the wrong table.
Why
but
did he
time
slap
is money.
it?
Only difference is I own it. Now let's stop.
Is it a table out there? Why is there a loaf of bread on the floor?
Qué locura.